I'm going to wait one moment. Hello, hello. All right, welcome back. We are going to be getting set up here for we are set up for the Final Fantasy IV randomizer by Retrophile. We're going to be joined by R Furious and I believe Cheese Reaver. Is this correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Being stupid questions.
Very nice. So this is randomizer. We got a bunch of donation incentives that were met, which our commentators will talk about. Do note that directly following this run, we will be having Beeps do his Super Metroid low % X Ice run. So get your save and kill donations marked. If you do donate, make sure you mark save or kill. Save is currently $222. Kill is currently $613. So save definitely has a bit of a gap to fill. But we are going to go ahead and switch on over to the 4-3, and I will let you guys have at it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So this is Final Fantasy VI, not 4, but that's okay. That's a little minor thing.
Oh, my bad.
It's all good. They get mixed up a lot because back in the SNES era, obviously in North America, we got 2 and 3, which are actually 4 and 6. So people get mixed up all the time, and that's commonplace. However, this game is a butt ton of fun. The randomizer has a lot of quality of life improvements that weren't in the vanilla game. Such as the fixing of the evade bug, which we slightly discussed prior to hopping in the booth here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Our runner Retro is quite experienced, and the curveballs that I put together for him should be a lot of fun. People who enjoy memes, there are some memes here. And we've also set this up to be somewhat successful. I've edited the run a little bit just to make sure with a go-go Umaro start, it can actually dead end, but this run will be hot and ready to go. Do you have something to add, Jay?
Oh, no, not Jay, me asking questions. So, when you create the seed, you decide on what 2 characters you start with, or how does that work out?
You can pick up to 4 right off the hop, so it can be really fun. 2 is kind of what we do as standard place, especially in a 7-10, just because you want to increase the number of checks you can actually go through. If you start with 4 in a 7-10, you'll be done really fast. Or you'll get stuck where you're just finding characters and not finding espers, and then you get into a weird balancing thing. So a two-man start is pretty commonplace. So we're gonna see here he's gonna start doing initial looting. So this is kind of a loot route that myself and a lot of other runners do. I don't want to say I'm the one who started it because I can't confirm or deny that. But basically, the loot route for myself would be Narsh. Because there's about 10 chests here, and you start right there, so it makes sense to check it out. Check the shops as well. At the randomized, fixed dice start. This is what I was saying. This is going to be a really hype run with a lot of shenanigans. There's also some really crazy relics early on, but like I said, around the 3rd way through, it's going to be just as much a surprise for me as it is for you guys. Sit tight, enjoy it. He's got fixed dice already, which is absolutely wild. And,
hey there, sorry to interrupt. I forgot to mention one thing. May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So, how this is going to work for the Celeste run, as Syneth's internet kind of took a dive. What was I going to say? Took a dive. That's the word I was going to look for. We're going to go ahead and just say that we're going to be opening up tomorrow, as a quote unquote day 4, but it's just going to be to finish off the Celeste donation incentive. So that'll start off early morning tomorrow. And we also are going to go ahead and shout out the Link to the Past crowd control run. If we can reach 14,000, at least 14,000 by the end of the day, we will unlock the crowd control run on that day 4 as well. And of course, if we reach the 15,000 overall, we'll be unlocking a full day 4. So that's just kind of how we're going to be handling tomorrow. I'll throw it back to you guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Nice.
Thank you. So, as someone who I've played FF6 before, I've beaten it more times than I can count, but I've never played the randomizer. Will you receive characters in the same places you would receive them in the vanilla game, or how do you get new characters?
All right, so the game works with what we call a check system. And how the check system works is every character will have an iconic spot or a couple of story positions that allow them to have quote-unquote checks. So in the case of Umaro and Go-Go, where you would find Gogo is one of his checks that will spawn either another character or an Esper or an item. And that's kind of how the checks work. You will not necessarily find the character where you would normally find them, but if you have that character, it opens up where you would find them, and that will then spawn an item, an Esper, or a character.
Okay, and I guess all told, if you made every check in the game, would you find all of the characters?
Yes. I've done all check runs for fun a couple of times. They're very good. They're very fun. They take about 4.5-ish hours to do every check in the game, so it's still pretty speedy, all things considered. And that has a lot to do with the power curve. And now we're seeing what happens when you don't equip your Moogle charms early on, getting encounters with some shenanigans.
May I hop in one more time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic. I just wanted to actually get through quickly some donations that we had while we were doing the Celeste run. We had a $150 donation from Fate that actually said save the frames, but I may have said save the animals by accident. And so Fate actually came back with another $150 donation, save the frames just to be safe, not Animals J. We had a $20 donation from OK Beamer. Didn't catch much of AKDTE, but big thanks to Jay and all involved. Thank you so much, OK Beamer. We had a $250 donation from Zimsies. Unbelievable. Here's like half a cent or so per death in advance. We had 87 cents from Redemption, Wrist, Swap, Invarial, 66 cents from Redemption, 87 cents from Bacon Fixation, Swap, Redemption, Swap, $1.87 from Bacon Fixation, $1.87 from Bacon Fixation, 1 cent from Red, 1 cent from Swap, 1 cent from Swap, 1 cent from Swap, 1 cent from Wrist, and we are caught up. Thank you guys so much for all those donations. It's been updated on the list. We're at $13,752.74. Let's get that 14K, guys. All right, back to you guys. Enjoy the run.
Absolutely. So we actually, Retro has just found the stuff that breaks the run.
Offering, experience eggs.
Yeah, XP eggs and an offering. The other thing is, because we have Equip All on, he can offering XP egg his Go-Go, and he can XP egg Moogle Charm his Umaro, which seems counterproductive. He's not actually going to do it. But if he did it that way, right now Go-Go is going to be his main source of damage. Because you're going to want to run fixed dice on him and be able to control the combat. But Retro is choosing to do something a little different here, so I'm curious to see where he goes with this.
Right. And now you say you have Equip All on. Does that mean only for relics, or can any character equip any item?
Any character can equip any item or any relic.
Okay.
I did that, again, to showcase how wild this can be. We can put limitations on things, so a lot of the times we'll actually run original and random, so it'll add a fixed amount of random things into that. Also, interestingly enough, he has a Minerva in his inventory, and he bought some Force Armor earlier. So we'll talk about this a little bit. Force Armor reduces elemental attacks by half, which is really powerful in a run like this, because in this game, magic is king. Magic gets used a lot. Although physical characters have higher damage ceilings with offerings and other tools, magic in the early mid-game really is king. Especially in the bosses. They will use a lot of magic on you. A Minerva, on the other hand, negates essentially every element, so it'll do 0 damage to you.
Those are two extremely powerful pieces of armor.
Two extremely powerful pieces of armor, and to have one of each already is great. The other cool thing about Umaro that a lot of people take for granted, especially in an equipable run, is he comes with a Snow Muffler, which is the highest physical defense piece of armor in the game and negates ice. Completely makes it so it does nothing.
Wow.
It's also super powerful. So Umaro actually comes with 255 physical defense right out of the gate, which is maximum. Ironically enough, what kind of brought this meme into place was Retro was doing a race a couple of weeks ago, and he had like a level 10 Umaro in against Kefka, and Kefka used a nuke on him and he didn't die. And it was it was like, everyone was like, what just happened? And we're like, yep, it's equipable Umaro with a Snow Muffler and a Rage Ring, so he wasn't taking any fire damage, and it did like 400 damage to him at level 10 or something stupid. It was really silly. His other characters all flopped, and Umaro was standing there front lined at level 10 doing nothing. It was
That's crazy. I do have a question. I just saw him pick, just a few minutes ago, he picked up some sprint shoes. Do those do anything in this? Because he seemed to be running full speed from the beginning.
No, they do absolutely nothing. They are actually just extra cash. Another setting that we have is auto sprint shoes, which allows you to maximize your relic slots. So in the event of this, Moogle Charms kind of take over your sprint shoes slot for this. So you still end up having, kind of a dead slot on someone, but we use it in the format of, hey, don't get any encounters with some monsters you don't want to see, like magic urns outside of Narsh.
I guess within a randomizer like this, are there certain areas where you'll typically go to do some leveling, or do you try to do it only against bosses? Or no, bosses in 6 don't.
In this, they do.
Oh, they do give experience. In normal FF6, they don't give experience, correct?
Correct. I believe some do. Like Leader, for example, in Vanilla.
I think maybe some of them that have minions do. I think the minions do.
Yeah, some with minions do, but like some bosses, like Leader, for example, he's kind of a cross between a regular enemy and kind of doubles as a boss. And Leader would be what you fight in Science scenario in the Vanilla game when you first meet him, the one-on-one encounter. Bosses like that kind of come with a little bit of XP because they're kind of a regular mob that's just boosted a little.
So I saw you just got a Blizzard Orb for Umaro, or that normally would go on Umaro. Is there any chance he actually equips something like that? Or since he can equip any relics, is it not really as worthwhile?
Honestly, Umaro's relics are actually god tier for Umaro.
Okay. The rage
will he equip them? I don't know. Right now he's in a situation where Umaro is kind of stuck being Moogle Charm XP egg for a while. In this game, although you can do statistical buffs with Espers, which is very recommended and very excellent, levels are king.
I have to note, every shop he's been to, everything is obscenely expensive.
Yes. I've randomized shops as well. And you might notice like some things like if he tried to sell a potion earlier, it might be worth 20k all of a sudden in a shop. Yeah, that's a thing.
It's just like, I just looked and like an ether. Yeah, ethers are usually expensive in Final Fantasy games, but it was like 56,000, which is a bit much.
Yep. I believe in this run, ironically enough, elixirs were cheaper than potions, from what I remember checking out myself. So we'll see if he finds those, and if he ends up picking some up. That was kind of the only early game healing I was able to really find. But yeah,
he got 2 pairs of fixed dice. I was about to ask why he would put them on Umaro instead of Gogo, but I didn't realize he got 2 sets.
So that play can be good. It can also be really bad because with Umaro being a berserker, and with him functioning the way that he does, he'll belly bump half the time.
So he won't actually use the weapon.
So he's actually going to lose a little bit of physical damage. The hope is that he just throws the dice over and over again, but he won't always do that. So this is kind of an interesting play. I'm really interested by his play right now. Not decisions I would make, but that's totally fine. This is what's going to make it fun, right? Everyone plays a little differently.
Okay, I see he just magicked himself into the world of ruin.
He has. So another thing with this randomizer, since Gogo is technically tied to World of Ruin, that's not what opens it up. It is available from day one. But both characters, their checks are both in World of Ruin.
Yeah, because you wouldn't get Gogo nor Umaro to World of Ruin anyway.
Exactly. So kind of what allows this to happen is you get airship right from square one. You start on it. The airship will also spawn. So to touch on that, say you do Gao's Serpent Trench, and you're traveling through the trench, and then you spawn outside of Nikeah like you would normally. The airship will be outside Nikeah after you get through the Serpent Trench.
Okay, so you don't have to do the full loop like you would in the vanilla game.
Correct. So if you follow something like that, it will spawn back where you are. The only exception to this is actually Edgar's checks in the desert in World of Ruin, when you go into the palace and the ancient cave underneath. Because of the movement of the castle and the way that it starts outside of...
Are you taking on the Storm Dragon at level 5?
Yeah. Welcome to what makes this fun. And right there,
I know he's got the fixed dice, but wait. Okay, I'm confused because the Storm Dragon has way more health than that, right?
Normally, yes, but dragons are scaled based on checks. So we're bosses.
Oh, it's all okay. It's based on
So-
checks, not
so the
on
way that-
areas.
Yeah, the way that the progress works in this game is bosses, your very first check and your very first boss are going to scale with the level of your team. Then after that, every check that you do increases their progress of your level +2.
Okay.
And you can adjust that to +3, +1. You can give bosses just a flat plus level. On top of it, you can do it gated by time. So you can do boss levels divided by whatever time you're at, divided by 3 or something like that. There's a bunch of different ways that you can set them up so it gets interesting. Dragons can be scaled or unscaled. In this case, they're scaled. Again, we wanted to, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Is this even randomized? This is what we normally say here. He's found Tritalk at Tritalk. What madness. Oh, and he throws trip 5s.
Oh.
So, let's talk about fixed dice a little bit. You might have noticed, wow, he rolled a 6, 4, 5 right after, and it did nowhere near as much damage. Fixed dice formula works like this. It's dice 1 multiplied by dice 2, or die, depending on how you want to say it, multiplied by die 3, then it's multiplied by level normally. If you get triples, the dice roll gets multiplied by 2 again before it gets applied to level. Again, why experience eggs are key, or king in this situation. Dragons can be scaled or unscaled. How you doing, Frags? Welcome in. Hope you're enjoying it so far, bud. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. If you guys want to get interested in this, feel free to reach out to Retro or myself outside of this. More than happy to help you guys out. But we are here for All Kids Deserve to Eat. Would you like to talk about that a little bit, Cheese Reaver? This seems like a good segment to do so.
Absolutely, as he checks a few things and fights. Well, this would be the vanilla location of fighting Umaro.
Absolutely.
So that is, in fact, what we are here for. For All Kids Deserve to Eat. He's fighting the ghost train that looks like Cyan. So, I've got specific things. All Kids Deserve to Eat strives to improve and sustain the quality of life for students across America. Its specific objective is to make direct relief efforts to schools across America for the purpose of alleviating lunch debt accrued by students throughout their educational career. So, really what that means is, if you're a student and you go to school and you get a lunch and you don't have the money to pay for it, they'll give you the lunch, but then that debt of the money you didn't have goes on your account, and you'll start accruing it. And if you don't pay that off, that will follow you throughout your entire. We partnered with Wilderwood Elementary School. These are elementary students. That debt can follow them all the way through high school. That can stop them from going to prom. That can stop them from getting their transcripts. It can stop them from walking at graduation, because they didn't have enough money to pay for their lunch as an elementary school student. And we're not okay with that. Quite frankly, we are not okay with that. And so we are trying to wipe that out. We have already broken our initial goal of $13,000. Actually, all right, our initial goal was $2,500. Like, way back when this all started. Obviously, we've shattered that. But we've broken the rest of our goal at 13,000, and we're at 13,771 now, which is just, it's crazy. And yeah, so that's why we're here. We think kids deserve to eat, and that they shouldn't go in debt for the rest of their academic career just because they didn't have enough money as a kid to pay for lunch.
And what a great cause this is. I'm honestly super honored to be a part of this and do some commentary for you guys, because no kid deserves that. Absolutely. And I appreciate you speaking on it, and I appreciate Jay and all of this community for putting this together. I probably never would have found you guys otherwise, but I'm really happy to be here so far. It's been an absolute treat watching this over the last few days. So
we're happy
kudos to you guys.
So I noticed he got Rama when he would have normally gotten Tritalk, which that's fine. But Rama's got very different skills on it than I recall Rama having.
Yes, so everything is randomized. I made this as random as I possibly could, and again, that was why I kind of edited the early stages. I wanted to make sure we didn't get stuck. But it looks... He's off to a great start. He's basically decided to do everything the way that I did it so far. So, kudos to him. We also have the opportunity here with Cyan early in an XP egg to do some really fun shenanigans. Cyan's not going to do much early on.
That's a Tonberry.
That is a Master Pug.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're
My
fine.
bad.
You're totally fine.
My bad. That's a Tonberry. I don't care what you say.
I mean, it is skinned as a Toneberry, absolutely. Toneberries in this game, I believe there might actually be a base Toneberry, but there are Pugs and Master Pugs. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get regular Pugs. Regular Pugs have a 1 in 8 chance to drop a Minerva, and there's actually a chance, because you fight 3 at a time in that scenario, that you could get 3 Minervas off of 1 encounter.
That would be insane.
Ironically enough,
actually see what he got off of the Master Pug. It clicked through.
It's a Gradius 100% of the time, which is
okay.
It's a Holy Dagger. It's decent, but with everything else we have in play right now, he's probably not going to use it. It's just more money. Yeah, this will be interesting. So in the case of that, yeah, it's a 1 in 512 chance. Fraggle actually in chat here had it happen in his run about a week ago, and he clipped it and shared it with us. I mean, it was a nutty moment because us math nerds, yeah, us math nerds who saw this happen, like the formula started calculating, and we're like, oh my god, I can't believe this just happened. Really wild. So here we go. We're going into Doma Castle. There's a couple of options for him here. He may loot the castle. He may choose not to. If he does, great. There's about 5 loot checks here. Top of my head, I'm counting them real quick.
He looks to be looting.
He's looting. This is the one I'm unsure about, because this one's always 2 checks, or not checks, but there's 2 loot spots out here. Sometimes people go for it. Some people write it off as lost time. He's finding running shoes and a Nutkin suit. Not terrible, but we have better armor available right now. Go ahead.
Since he has Cyan, he could now activate that quest line within World of Ruin Doma Castle?
Correct. So now that he has Cyan, he can do all of the Doma scenarios. So he's come to the World of Ruin first. This is a really smart play. Anyone who gets the randomizer and has Cyan as an early character and wants to run with them, doing Doma Castle World of Ruin is such a good play. If you can complete this scenario, especially early game, it unlocks all of Cyan's sword techniques. So you can have a level 10 Cyan that's doing Quadra Slice, which is 70 attack power and ignores armor early game.
Which is insane.
Which is insane. To give you an example, Quadra Slam has 5 more attack, which is really good, but it doesn't ignore armor. So you're going to take 5 attack power less, but you're not going to factor in physical defense spells. And this, we could potentially see a Slappy Boy. So, I meant, while you were discussing the All Kids Deserve to Eat campaign earlier, when he was fighting Doom Train, little known fact about Doom Train and Hedonite, they're undead, so you can actually just kill them with a Revive, a Life Spell, or a Revivify.
See, I knew that about the Doom Train. I'm not sure if I knew that about Hedon, however you pronounce it.
We'll call him Hedon, why not?
Sure.
Yeah, you can just throw it at him and he'll go away. Unfortunately for him, he has none, and he actually may die here. This is a really bad scenario. Okay, he got bailed out. I'm a few seconds behind you, I think, Cheese, but a confused Go-Go with fixed dice offering, not a good place to be.
Oh, one note, for a lower latency stream, you can actually click on the bot in Discord and watch its stream, and you'll get a lower latency version of the stream. Yeah. I'm sorry that I forgot to tell you that when we started.
That is all good. I will. Yeah, this is 10 seconds ahead of me. Okay, I'll watch this one.
That's when we try to commentate on.
I'm not even there.
Yeah. Looks like he was able to finish off Hedon. Or was it really just the confused Go-Go that you were worried about?
Confused Go-Go is what I was concerned about. Nothing else here is really terrifying. But confused Go-Go with offering fixed dice can literally just wipe your team. And there we have another Esper. I need to get my tracker going here. So we are here. We got this. We got 2 Espers now.
What Esper? Palador.
You got Palador. So there is some really fun shenanigans you can do with an early Palador and Dragoon Boots, which he has. Preferably Dragoon Horns. Little known fact,
those make jump forever, right?
Yeah. And with a go-go, you can actually mimic it, the summon. So you could have a full squad of Dragonhorned, pole-armed with Aura Lances, Palador nonsense. Now, in this scenario, he has fixed dice and offerings, so it kind of trumps everything until you max out Cyan and start slapping stuff with him, and then he becomes Slappy Boy. Additionally, a topped-out Stray Cat Gal with an offering and, like, Illuminas is going to be really tough to top. But we're going to be watching a lot of dice get thrown today, so sit tight, chat. You're in for some fun. So if you like gambling, you're in the right place. I'm just kidding.
So I just got an Aura. is that the Aura Lance, or is that a different item that I'm just not remembering?
Aura is a mid-tier katana for...
okay.
It's a good weapon, but he already has Tiger Fangs. Neat fact about Cyan, his weapon damage does not affect his sword techniques. So you're actually better off equipping weapons that'll boost the statistical value, such as Vigor or Strength.
Because you're never actually really going to use just basic attacks with him.
Correct. Like, if you want a basic attack, you're going to dispatch before you basic attack, because dispatch ignores armor and just does damage based on his strength. So, and again, level is a factor. It's really odd, because I've had a lot of runs where it's like, I've had a 75 strength Cyan doing max damage because his level got so high, and I've also had a maxed out 128 Cyan not hitting cap yet because his level wasn't high enough. There is always a level calculation in the damage formula, and it's always really interesting to see that. And if math talk is boring you guys, let me know.
I'm good with math talk. Now, in this section, now in the vanilla game, if you get into a fight in this, you have the Magitech armor. Would
Correct.
You also in this?
I believe you would, but I haven't had an encounter because I always keep my Moogle Charm on.
Gotcha. And then I see Shadow walking around. I'm assuming when he completes this, he'll get Shadow?
That is correct. That is how it works.
Oh, I see Fraggle in chat said exactly that.
Yep, he'll get Shadow for this. There's also an additional check that Retro actually pointed out to me a few weeks ago that I didn't realize was here. This whole section is a 3-check section. I always thought it was 2. After he does this next encounter and gets Shadow, you can actually re-enter the King's Throne Room again, and there will be an item, a character, or an Esper sitting on the throne. So he may actually get 2 characters out of this, which would just be crazy early on.
We have an Ultros.
Really tough encounter here. Let's see how he handles it, Cotton.
I guess, is there any way we know which Ultros it is?
We'll find out. Depending on if he moves, runs away, or a Chupon shows up, it's a Chupon. There you go.
Alright, so this would be the one right before you go on the floating continent.
Correct.
Ha! See, I do remember some stuff about Final Fantasy VI.
Look at that. These dice rolls, though. Oh my goodness. Come on. I'm still puzzled by the dice on Umaro. That is... It is a very puzzling play for me.
Yes, what would you be... of the items you've seen him pick up thus far, what would you expect him to put in place of the fixed dice on Umaro?
I would give Umaro a big weapon, front row him, and... oh, Phoebe, thank you for that raid, man. Welcome in.
Yeah, welcome everybody raiding.
Sorry, Feep's a buddy of mine, and he's a leader in another community that I'm a part of. That I was like, hey, do this thing, check out this stuff. So thanks for bringing everyone over, Feep. I appreciate that, bud. Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the fixed dice, I would probably just put the strongest weapon that I had on Umaro right now. I believe he has a Scimitar, Sky Render even. Like, I would Sky Render. See, right here, this is where I would swap stuff up. I would probably fixed dice Shadow, Sky Render Umaro, front row Umaro, and just let him start going nuts. Because he can tear stuff up. Especially with Rage Ring, like Rage Ring, Blizzard Orb, those are both really fun relics. Being able to showcase the Rage Ring is very... Oh, look at that, another Magicite.
And Maduin.
Maduin.
All right, so I know the abilities that the Espers teach you are randomized. Are their bonuses randomized as well? Their
Yes.
level up bonuses? Okay.
Yeah.
I see
So in
Madman there
this
with
case-
+1 magic, and I think in the base game it's +2. Maybe
I
it's
actually
all-
believe it's +1 in base game, so that is not randomized.
Is this
at all.
even randomized?
Is this even randomized, right? Like, that's the way this seems to be going today. Yeah, so he's got a lot of... He's making some interesting choices. Like, Rage Ring there, I love that play with XPA.
But he took it off and he just did the Blizzard Orb instead.
Interesting. Maybe he's... Well, he can't. He has to run with Umaru. I was like, maybe he's going to take him out. No, he's not.
Yeah, no, that is... Gogo and Umaru do not get to leave the party. That is... Them's the breaks. That is what people paid for. To watch him use Gogo and Umaru the whole time.
So this is where stuff's going to get interesting, because he's going to start doing some checks I didn't do.
Ah, that's awesome.
So now we're getting into some fun stuff. I have no idea what's coming up here, and I'm really excited to see what it's going to be.
So this is normally where you would re-recruit Shadow. Or, not re-recruit Shadow, but rescue
Initiate.
Shadow.
Yeah, you'd initiate the recruitment process.
Okay, now on this, will you actually recruit someone at the end of this, or will it just activate the stuff at the Coliseum?
You'll get either a character or an item or a
Or an
magic.
Esper. Okay.
The Coliseum isn't actually a check for this.
Oh, okay.
For the pure
didn't
reason...
check here instead of the Coliseum.
Yeah, we put it here instead. Well, I didn't. I'm not a coder, but they put it here. Another Gradius. Look at that. And I think here makes more sense because the Coliseum thing just is not fun. And in a randomizer, you can be up against something random. Something really wild. So as you see there, that was a soldier. And soldiers and imps and guards will all mimic Magiciter items. So we know he's not getting a character here right away.
Okay, so if you see a character, it's going to be a character. If you see anything else, it's going to be one of the others.
Yeah, if you see a character, it is that character.
Okay.
So that'll help you guys identify what we're walking into. And it can also help change decisions. Like if you walked in here later on and was looking for a character or was looking for an Esper and he saw something that wasn't indicating that it might be one of those things, he may just leave and go do another check.
Here's another Ultros.
Another Ultros, exactly.
And wow, that Cyan meter is going up way faster than I'm used to.
Like I said, you're going to notice that he's going to look way cooler than you're used to.
Yeah, because I'm honestly used to Cyan being not that great in the late game.
Cyan's really great late game if you know how to play around him. So the tip that I tell most people, even in vanilla, if you want to use Cyan, I recommend it. He has a really high damage ceiling. But the way that you utilize his ability is you queue everyone else's in your team's attacks first. And while their animations are going, you can let his bar charge. And before another ATB comes back up, you can usually hit 7 in casual play.
Ah, okay.
Cyan's way better than he gets credit for, and the fact that he got him early, I'm actually really excited about because he's literally one of my favorite characters. Vanilla and in this.
Oh, awesome. Alright, so I see he's going back to the world of balance. Any insight on what checks he might go for next?
I believe he's going for the free shadow check, and that's exactly what he's doing here. That is exactly what he's doing. So the free shadow check is, again, oh, here we go. We got another Magicite. We got Crusader. Crusader can be a really good play, rocking full Minervas if he has them. But I don't think he does yet. If you're running
full Minervas.
Yeah, if you're running full Minervas or Pally Shields, Crusader can be fun because it'll do nothing to you and just slap the enemy team. It's very similar to the Murton spell, which is Fire and Wind Elemental. So if you can negate those, then you're just in a really good spot, obviously. And then you have free reign on the magic. With a Paladin Shield, which we're not able to showcase in this because you guys said no.
No Paladin Shield, no
Paladin Shields, no Ultima. Let's make this hard. Have Go-Go tomorrow.
And you have to fight all 8 dragons.
Yeah.
Now,
the fun thing is,
will he receive something for defeating the last dragon?
No.
Ah, okay. So that's not you don't receive because normally you would receive a Magicite for that, correct?
Correct. So in this instance, what it does, you're welcome for Go-Go. Well, thank you very much. Honestly, Go-Go, not a bad play. Goko has a lot more uses than people give him credit for. What I love about this is right now we have a not so star-studded cast. Hello?
I believe Jay has joined us.
Jay has joined us.
Hello.
Welcome,
I just
Jay.
wanted to note a quick donation that we got. A $10 donation from Hero82 says, for my intentional death, and this was talking about their run yesterday. They did Super Castlevania 4, 80% only whip. They said, ugh, save those dumb animals for beeps. Boo me. We also have $1 from Wrist Umahali. It says, incentive J, publish next book. Okay, sounds good. All right, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Jay.
And back to the dragon thing. We can't access Kefka until the 8 dragons are defeated, and that's kind of what that gate is.
Okay, so that's a setting that you can choose.
Yeah, you can choose how many dragons you want to fight, anywhere from 0 to 8, in increments of 2. It might even be increments of 1. We just use increments of 2 because, I don't know, I guess no one likes odd numbers in the randomizing community for us. It's usually 2, 4, 6, or 8. I've never seen anyone go, hey, let's do a 3 dragon. It just doesn't seem to be a thing that happens. Maybe that's something I'll do later. Hey, Retro, I know you're not listening. We'll run a 3 dragon later, just for fun.
Now, I just saw he now has access to the floating continent?
Yes, and that is because he has Shadow. The floating continent is tied to a Shadow check.
Ah, okay.
Because when you land on the floating continent, who do you find?
Yeah, that's where you re-grab Shadow.
Correct. So that is
and I
another
assume in
great
this we have no worry about Shadow being like, all right, I've done enough battles with you. Peace out.
100%.
Okay.
You usually run 5, and there you go. Fraggle proving me wrong. So the dragons control the final access door to get into Kefka, the tower climb. You can get into the tower itself because there are dragons in the tower. But whether or not you fight those dragons is dependent on your thresholds and what you've set up entering the whole thing. That's pretty much it for dragons. Dragons scale, they're fun. Every dragon you kill drops a high level item. So we have a weapon, or I guess for lack of a better term, an item tier. And that item tier is used for the check. So you'll notice, I don't think he's had any items yet, or maybe he did have one. I think he had one in the throne room, right? He got something in the throne room.
He got an Esper in the throne room, I believe?
He got an Esper in the throne room, okay. So we haven't seen one yet. It looks like we're coming up to a Zozo check. This one I did, and because Retro's not listening, I don't mind saying it. I know that there is an item check here, so it'll make sense with what we're talking about.
Okay.
When you get to a check, there will be an Esper there, a character there, or a little like glimmering light. Glimmering light means you got an item.
Gotcha.
But that
now,
is. Go ahead.
Oh, wait, no, he's enrolled with Ruin Zozo. I'm thinking if he was enrolled with Balance Zozo, now is there an item check there at the top of the tower in World of Balance where you would pick up Terra?
Correct, and that is a Terra check.
Okay. Oh, it's a Terra. You have to have Terra for that check to be active.
So I actually have a little window here. I was gonna maybe share it with you, but maybe I won't. Actually, you know what? I will. I'll pop this into our chat, just so you can follow along with me, and it'll make a little more sense as to what I'm talking about for yourself.
Sure.
So what this is, as soon as I can, there we go. I will. Oh, it won't let me share a screen in here. Never mind. Don't
worry about it.
Yeah. I was just going to share the tracker with you that we use. It actually has character icons and all of the checks associated with each character.
Okay, well that's cool. I'm a little familiar with the FF4 free enterprise randomizer, where you also start out with the airship.
Yeah,
but it seems like there's a decent bit of difference, because I know in that one, basically, if it's a character check, it's a character check. If it's an item check, it's an item check. There's not the kind of nebulous. Some checks can be anything.
Yeah, these ones are all pretty much everything. There are some that are tied to only Esper or item. For example, free checks like Tritalk, Doomgaze, the Zen check, with the bandit hiding in the trees behind the relic shop. All of those are item or Esper. They're not characters tied to those. And auction house as well. The auction house is guaranteed to have at least one Esper, sometimes two.
Okay. Now, I guess if it only has one, will it have another item of note, or it'll just have one instead of two?
It depends.
That's a perfectly acceptable answer.
Yeah. The only one that can be character driven out of the what we call free checks is Kefka at Narsh. So if he was to walk into Kefka at Narsh at the very beginning of the run, that is a really nice item, Valiant Knife. I wouldn't put it on yet. So Valiant Knife has a lot of really neat play because in this game you can actually change your weapon and shield. So what he could do now is he could actually just pump an HP Esper into Cyan, get his HP as high as he can, and then when Cyan starts to take a bunch of damage in a fight and not heal him, swap to a Valiant Knife and then use a sword technique, and just start absolutely mashing. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Valiant Knife has additive damage to the weapon itself, and it actually does apply to sword techniques. So if he had, say, 3,000 health and he lost 2,000 of that health, and then equipped a Valiant Knife and used his 7 sword technique, it would do the normal amount of damage it would do, plus the 2,000 missing health on top of it. So he's actually got it. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Each hit. So there's a lot of really fun shenanigans that can take place here in the event that he chooses to use them or game them appropriately. We'll see what happens. We'll see if a situation arises for it. But swapping in a Valiant Knife and doing something like that is actually a play, especially early on if you can get a high HP Esper, which I believe he has at least one, maybe 200 HP Espers already.
He definitely has at least one. I think Crusader was plus 100.
Yeah, so he could really start doing some funny stuff with Cyan if he chose to. And with an XP egg, it really, the game can get out of hand really fast. And that's why a lot of these runs end up being so quick. A lot of the 7-10 no dragon runs end up being around an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of what makes it so much longer to do dragons is a lot of dragons are gated behind characters. So you have to find those characters. So even though this is a 7-10-8, it's more likely going to fall around an 11-11-8 by the time he finds all the stuff that he needs to actually get to those dragons.
Okay, now, what's the difference between a 7-10 and an 11-11? I don't, what's the...
Okay, so a 7-10 is 7 characters, 10 Espers. First number is always characters, second number is Espers, third number is dragons.
That's how many you have to have before you can complete the game?
That's how many you need to have before you can enter Kefka's Tower.
Okay.
The dragon threshold strictly is, that's how many you need before you can fight Kefka. The reason it's gated that way is simply because the dragons are in the tower. So if he really wanted to and was doing a 2-dragon run, he could do everything else, go to the tower, and then fight the 2 dragons in the tower.
Right.
It's an option. But he's not doing that. We're doing an 8. So it's a little bit of a different scenario. 4 shields, a really good buy, but I think with some of the other stuff that he has in place, maybe not necessary. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he found an elemental shield earlier. He might be better off running with the Force armor and an elemental shield, or Minerva's or Snow Mufflers, what have you. This is a really, really neat play. Right, going with a Force shield and a Minerva. Holy cow. And a cat hood. That's huge.
Alright, I do have a question about items that teach you spells. Are the spells that teach you randomized?
No.
No, okay.
So if he had a Pally Shield, it would teach him Ultima, except in this case it's turned off, so it wouldn't.
Okay.
If he has a Flame Shield... so actually, let's talk about items a little bit in general. Yeah, so Flame Shield, Thunder Shield, Ice Shield all teach the level 2 magic associated with that shield. So he would have Ice 2, Thunder 2, or in this game, yeah, it's Thunder 2, I think, and then, or Bolt 2, and then Fire 2. Sorry, I get all my Final Fantasy spells mixed up in my head sometimes.
Thunder versus Bolt, and then...
Thunder versus Bolt.
2 versus Aura versus...
You know.
Yeah, I understand.
So I was just like, was it Blizzard or Ice or Lightning or Thunder or whatever? In this game, it's Bolt. So yes, it teaches all the tier 2s with the shields. neat thing about items in this game, you can actually break shields and rods to do elemental damage. Elemental shields are king if you can get them, especially at a cheap price. And a shop like this, or in a randomized setup such as what we have as the flags right now, I've actually found elemental shields for like a couple $100. A couple hundred pieces.
See, I knew in the vanilla game you could break rods to do spells. In the vanilla game you can do that with shields as well?
Absolutely. And shields actually do tier 3 magic, which is what makes them so much better. Rods do tier 2.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can run around breaking shields, and that can be your run. Our seed of the week last week in the community, we had basically an item run. All shops were free. So people just ran around and tried to find the best items they could throw at stuff. And we had super balls and lightning shields, and it was pretty fun.
That sounds pretty awesome.
And the other cool thing is, like, when you find an elemental shield and you put it on, you now absorb that element. So in the case of a thunder shield, they're really powerful because they have or completely negate wind damage and they absorb lightning damage. So they're actually a 2-for-1. They're a really nice shield to find. And we're gambling. Oh boy.
Okay, I see him resetting out of this. I was going to ask, has the auction house been changed in any such way that, like, the high priority items like the espers and whatnot, are they going to be more, are they prioritized in some way? But I'm guessing the answer to that question is no.
Nope.
It's the same chance as it was in the vanilla game.
Yep. There is a manipulation for it in the vanilla game, and I believe it's still live in this because I've done it a few times and it seems to work out the way that I thought it would. However, I think that the item or esper that would be in that slot is what's random. So okay. There's one known as down left down right, and that guarantees zone seek in the vanilla game. And what that means is if you walk in and out of the auction house, there's an NPC lady walking around outside. And the first frame, if she is moving down and then you walk in and then walk back out, and then she's moving left, and then you walk in back out, and then she's moving down, and then in and out, and then she's moving right, that actually guarantees zone seek 100% of the time.
Huh.
Which is the rarest. It's the rare slot for this. And the reason I know that is I'm also a vanilla speedrunner for a lot of other Final Fantasy games. I'm a big follower of the FF6 game because it's actually the next run I'm looking at doing. And the down left down right thing was something that I learned while researching that game. So it's really cool, and I've tested it in this, and it definitely spawns something consistently. But like I said, it seems to vary whether it's an esper or a rare item. At least in my experience of playing with it and making it work. You'll start to notice the power curve on Cyan here. His Quadra Slice was doing 200 to 300 in the last fight. We're up into the 800s now. If he can find a Strength Esper and start to pump his Vigor up a little bit while he's leveling, you're going to see a really slappy boy by the end of the game.
I see you just got a gem box. I believe that gives you 2 times magic, right?
It gives you a double cast, yeah.
Double cast. Now, is magic? I mean, in these seeds, are there times where magic becomes your major sources of damage, or?
Absolutely. There are seeds where you can't find weapons.
Okay. I would guess, starting with the Gogo Umaro, magic being a high priority in this one is probably less likely.
Yeah, I mean, and he has a Cyan early too with an XP egg, so by the end of the game, Cyan will be doing somewhere between 16 and 40k damage a turn, depending on how long it goes for and how many dragons he kills and if he chooses to stick with them or not. Sorry, my wife's trying to get the dog out of the room. Yeah, so it's... Cyan can do a butt ton of damage, and like getting him as your first character find in an XP run is so excellent.
That's an interesting. Oh no, wait, these aren't boss fights yet. These are just the random ones you fight.
Yeah, the boss
murdering that rat.
So we're on our way to the floating continent now. Really exciting time. Floating continent is a lot of fun. There are 3 checks on the continent, so after he gets through this little gauntlet of fights in the boss battle, he'll land on the continent, and there will be a character, an item, or an esper again. If it's an Esper, it'll show as an Esper. If it's a character, it'll show the character. If it's an item, it'll be like a soldier or whatever. One of the interesting things is some of them will actually vary. Some situations you'll actually... Like an Esper or an item can be an NPC, whereas in other situations, the Esper or the item will spawn a different kind of visual. Oh, this was... The Flan fights are fun because it's like the Piranha encounter. It's terrible. But he has cleave, so he's just gonna see you later.
And deal with it.
Yeah. I also need to put the Discord stream up in front of me because it's on time, and then my commentary will make more sense.
It's all good. Yeah, he's got actually a second set of Flan fights. Now, I guess with the way these work, since he got a Flan on Battle 2, is he kind of guaranteed to get one on Battle 3 as well?
Not always.
Okay, because I thought in the vanilla game, aren't those two fights, this Fight 2 and Fight 3 in this situation, the same fight?
Yeah, and that's, again, like, this part always kind of baffles me because, like, your first encounter is one thing, and then you get something very different for second and third.
It's Kefka Narsh.
It's Kefka Narsh. Really tough battle here, guys. Sit tight, buckle up. It is the final boss.
That's right, we're already taking on Kefka.
Oh my goodness. So again, we have fixed dice offerings. It's going to trivialize a lot of things that we're going to encounter. At this point, with Azumaro, I'd front row him. But
Is
again,
he still in the back row?
He's still back road. Back row for anyone that's not Umaro or Gal makes sense. In the case of Gal, for example, a lot of his rages have physical components, so having him front road, he's going to just benefit more. A neat thing about this, because Equip All is on, Gao's physical rages are actually way more powerful. In the base game,
give him a weapon?
Yep, you can give him a weapon. In the base game, he can't wear anything but the Impartisan, which actually lowers his physical attack by 7. Unless you give him a merit award, at which point you can make the Wind God Gao strats and all those other things. Hey Ma, how's it going, buddy? Welcome in. A lot of people from the community showing up in chat. I appreciate you guys being here for this. So we found Locke. We have good boy Locke here. Treasure hunter, not thief. Just so y'all know.
Will be required to get into Phoenix Cavern, I assume.
Exactly. So that is another dragon check out of the way. I believe we only have one more gated dragon. I'm just gonna double check my tracker. Yeah, we have one more gated dragon.
Other than the ones in Kefka's Tower itself.
Yeah. So the other gated dragon that we have will be Edgar. So we're gonna need to try and keep an eye out for him. Yeah, and the thing is, he actually does destroy the world.
Kefka not only wants to destroy the world, he succeeds.
Yeah, he does it, and I think that's one of the cooler things about this game is that the villain actually wins halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And in the vanilla version, like, he wins, your party gets disbanded and scattered, and you have to, like, reband and come together for the cause that is, listen, yes, he destroyed the world, but there's some of us left, and we have an opportunity to, like, defeat this tyrant and kind of rebuild. And it's such a cool concept that you just don't see in games ever.
Very rarely, halfway through a game, does the main villain win.
Yeah.
It's not a thing you see very often.
It's really, really perplexing. So he's going to safety save here. Not a bad play. And as you can see, it looks like he's ramping up for the Valiant Knife shenanigans on Cyan, which is wonderful, and I'm really excited for it.
I love anything involving the word shenanigans. So.
There is a lot of shenanigans. And again, why I was so excited, like, as we were approaching, and you guys are like, hey, the incentives are still up. I'm like, please don't. Please. This seed is literally going to be perfect to showcase what I want to showcase. So there's so many good things in this. And, like, right now, Cyan's already hitting for almost 2,000 damage. a Quadra Slice swing. So he's doing almost 8k already.
Now he's taking on the painting.
Neat thing that they've added in the randomizer for this particular fight is it'll actually stay in demon form a lot longer than it does in the base game. So you won't see as much flipping and flopping. He may actually just one-phase it altogether, which is encouraged because this is a really long, almost boring fight.
Yeah. And honestly, in the vanilla game, if you don't know what's going on, it can be a very confusing fight.
Absolutely. So the girl does literally nothing. It's
There's 6k damage dropped by Cyan.
6k damage at level 30, just because, you know, he's gained some levels and he's got a little bit of strength modifying gear equipped. And there's some great rolls by Go-Go. That'll crack Boom for sure. There we go.
Yeah, those fixed dice, that fixed dice offering combo really doing work there.
Absolutely. Again, this is a great spot to put it on Shadow. Like this is where I would probably start to swap Umaro. Get him front row. We got another Magicite with Tirado. Does it have strength? It does. Oh.
He gave the Shadow.
Wow. Doing some wild things out here today.
Now we get to see Kefka try to destroy the world. Or succeed in destroying the world.
In the vanilla game, this is where the world dies. We get yeeted off the platform because somehow Kefka's touched the statue and become a god. Or started transitioning. And now we get to see the floating continent fall apart. Similar to what's happening in the real world. Not the real world, but you know, the real world of the game. So here he's going to fight, I believe, 3 random encounters. That's a nice toss by Shadow.
Are these guaranteed even with a Moogle Charm?
Even with a Moogle Charm, you're still going to fight these. It's another gauntlet, per se. Kind of one of the downsides to Floating Continent, there's 2 gauntlets you have to run through. With, I believe, 3 boss fights. So it can be a really rough set of checks. But with his setup right now, he's going to need to get slapped really hard really early. Another neat thing about this game that not a lot of people really know, it was actually news to me until I started learning the speedrun. If you put the battle speed on slow, which is 6, it actually only nerfs the enemies. It doesn't nerf your battle speed.
Right.
So you'll actually take less attacks. And in something like this, where a lot of attacks are going to get thrown out really quickly from a lot of really powerful bosses, especially early game, that is a big game changer, along with back rowing. If you can back row and mitigate your physical damage and then have some kind of magical defense early on through the first couple of checks, it's going to do you wonders. Like, look at that. Like, I believe he has a Minerva on Go-Go back road. Solarplex still hit him for 160, which is a lot of damage. And Cyan is...
Solarplex hits like a truck.
Yeah. The base game, like, when you're fighting this guy, he's hitting you for like 800 with that.
Now, do we know if this is Funbaba 1 or 2, or are those separated?
So this Funbaba will be Funbaba 2.
Okay.
Funbaba 1 is really only encountered in Mobliz. If someone in chat wants to correct me, but I'm pretty sure the Funbaba randomize portion is if you fight him, you're going to fight him. He may sneeze them out of battle, but if he does, I think he sneezes everyone if he gets added in. Yeah. That's
and there's Gao.
And there's big boy Gao. Okay. Now we get to see what Retro's preferences are. I personally despise Shadow. It's a personal thing. Gao would be in my party so fast right now.
Shadow a little too edgy for you?
It's not that he's edgy, it's that with what he has available and like what the limitations that have been on him, with Equip All on, Gao is immediately one of the strongest characters, especially with like Hero Ring and offerings available. Like,
are the abilities within Gao's rages randomized at all, or is it still, if I activate Trilo
they
Fighters,
can be
the same ones?
But I've turned all of them on. So he has Stray Cat offering Gao at his disposal right now.
Gotcha, okay.
So he has Super Saiyan Gao access. It just doesn't appear that he wants to look at it. So this is going to be fun. Like, he literally could walk into Kefka's tower probably right now and win.
Wow.
He just needs to fight. Yeah, like that's... He has the potential within like 3 or 4 more boss fights to probably finish the run if he had all of the stuff that he needed. Spoiler alert, I get X-Ray. Shadow, oh my god, the puns. Edge is also edgy. Edge is very edgy.
Oh, so there's Bahamut.
And
Definitely better than just some Genji armor.
absolutely. Genji armor is really good. It's a really good partner with like Pally Shield. If you can get something that will... If you can get something that'll negate like all elemental sides of things, Genji armor has a place. Genji armor also has statistical boost, which is why it's a really nice thing. Alright, let's check out Curse Shield. This is Retro's donation. $26! There it is.
$26 from him for that's the number of battles he would have to do to uncurse the shield.
Correct. That is the one Pally Shield I can't take out of the run. It is there all the time.
Right. But we trust him not to use it.
I mean, even if he unlocks it, like... 26 is really high, especially with what he's done already. Had he gotten it before going to Floating Continent, maybe. Because you're going to do like 8 battles, 9 battles on the continent, and then finding Gao as well. You got Serpent Trench opened up now. There's a place for like a 20-ish Curse Shield if you get the right people. Okay, he's going to do Gogo's check right now. That's what this is.
Oh, okay. I saw him go into Cyan only, and I was very confused.
The reason we do this,
I assume it's just so Zone Eater only has to eat one person.
Nailed it. I was like, I could talk on it. I think you'll pick up what I'm going to put down here.
Right. Instead of having to wait for Zone Eater to eat everybody,
Yeah.
just the one.
I'm that guy that just walks in with my full party and goes, heck it. And then I go get a drink.
I'm just going to sit here and wait, and he'll eat me eventually.
Hyperwrist is a great item on Cyan at this stage of the game, too.
Is Hyperwrist percentage-based, or is it just a number?
It's percentage, so it increases strength by 50%.
Nice.
Another set of fixed dice. Oh, buddy. And free dried meat. That's going to be huge. Because shops are randomized, dried meat can be as much as like 60k. So finding dried meat for free... Oh, that was a ballsy play. I don't know if he has a warp stone or not. I probably would have gone for that on my way out. That way, if you get knocked down, hey, you're going to grab this chest anyways.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So the dried meat, that... Now, with the Gao check on the Velt, is that always going to be a character, or can that also be an Esper or an item?
It can also be randomized. It can be any of the 3. Any check...
Can be
any character check can be any of the 3. Within those... so again, like if I could share the tracker, it would have been great. It's easier to like point and talk, but the character checks themselves can be any of the 3. The shared checks are typically Esper item, with the exception of Kefka and Arsh.
He is getting trolled by those patrolling guys.
Yeah. I've had runs where I literally stood on a platform for over 5 minutes because the guy just wouldn't get out of the way. Which is probably why he saved this check for so long. He probably was just like, I don't want to go there. We try to avoid this one if we can, because it could be super... dollar per knockdown? That could be a lot of money. Does he... Oh, he got out. Okay. That is... Oh, man. The kahunas on these plays here. That's instant death. And it's not when it hits the ground either. It's when the ceiling starts to move, you're dead. So going for anything extra is just a wild choice. Earrings, that's a good pickup. Not for anything that we have right now, but it's a very good pickup in general.
Yeah, since he's not really using any magic users, I expect the earrings aren't going to get a whole lot.
No, red jacket's pretty nice. Again, has an elemental absorb built into it. Has some really good statistical bonuses.
So he
Comboing
warped out. He did. Sorry, he warped out. He left one of those checks, but I guess since it wasn't a priority check or a character check, it doesn't really matter.
It was just a chest, yeah. Like,
okay, he'll just deal with that.
Chest is a chest. Oh! I got really excited for half a second. I was like, "Is he gonna do it?
Is he gonna do it?"
Ugh.
Yeah.
He has so much damage potential sitting on his bench. It's kind of wild right now. And with how much game is left, like he got Gao early enough, he could totally run with it. Saving. I was like, I wonder what we're doing here. Okay.
Why would he jump back down here?
Is he doing some stuff I'm not expecting?
Well, he spent the whole run doing stuff you weren't expecting.
Yeah, and this is what's really cool about this is like you can think, hey, I'll handle it this way or I'll do it that way, and you watch another runner and they do it completely different or approach things totally different. This is a great check. This is another one.
Bin check.
It's not even Burning House. We don't have Sabin, so we can't do it. But it's the free Esper check. Little surprising why he didn't buy it.
Is that guy always going to sell you an Esper?
Esper or item.
Okay. He can't sell you a character.
He cannot sell you a character. He is one of the free checks for all. Curse Shield, yeah, get out of here. At 26k, yeah, I'll sell that. That's that Esper outside for free now. Gaia gear, decent. Behemoth suit's really good armor. That was... Wow. Okay. Well, he's not running Pally. That makes sense, actually. That's fine. Behemoth suit, very similarly to Genji armor, gives a lot of nice physical boosts. It's a great set of armor for Gao or Cyan or one of your brawlers. If you can partner it with a really good elemental shield. Hyperist, I really like that. He's going to be... Slappy Boy is coming out. I hope you're all ready.
Wait, did I just see correctly that Umaro has like 7,000 health?
I didn't see it.
But no, that was 27, not 72. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like, you're seeing something I'm not. I missed.
That was my brain just switching some numbers. That's all. Okay.
all
so
good.
the Burning House check doesn't activate if you don't have Sabin.
Correct.
Okay.
Mega Elixir's there for 30k, pretty good price point. I'd buy a couple. That's a good play. Softs, not so keen on. I mean, I guess maybe just to have one. He doesn't really have much magic to save himself, so that makes sense. I may have held out to try and find remedies.
Hey, there's the regular dice.
There's regular... Those are the worst thing to see in this run, by the way. You're just like, ugh. You can't help but
force
stop.
Shields. He's drowning in force shields.
Yeah, and it's like the force shield is good. It's just not as good as the armor. So there you go. He has a full tank Umaro now. He will take no magic damage.
Is that max magic and max physical?
It appeared that his physical was a bit lower. I don't know if he maybe changed the snow muffler for something else.
Maybe so. Looks like he's going to Phoenix Cave.
He is. All right.
Locke and the rest.
I'm fully benching Gao. My heart breaks. I'm going to have words with Retro after this, by the way.
He is just straight disrespecting Gao.
Straight up, we don't need Gao in this.
And straight up, we better not get any fights with Locke.
And we won't, because we have 3 Moogle charms. So it's,
No,
it's designed... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just like, that's not the problem. It's just, Locke at level 5 is probably not going to stand up to much.
Well, the cool thing is, it'll actually scale to his level.
Oh, would it? Like, even random battles?
Yep. So what makes it really cool is, like in Kefka's Tower, if you keep a bunch of characters low level and you weave them into your party, the boss level will average out your level, and then add the progress modifiers to it.
So you can just wreck them because they're average, because you brought some level 5 dude with you.
Yeah, level 5 or level 3 or level 8, depending on the character you start with. Most characters start at 3. Atlas Armlet, great find. Hi, hello.
We appear to have been joined by someone.
We have Symeth in the chat with us. Hello, Sineth.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Dos cervezas, por favor.
Yeah, I won't even try to speak Spanish because that's just I can't, and I do not wish to insult the people nor the language. So
I only have resort Spanish, so it's.
I have like first year of high school Spanish, and I don't remember a whole lot from it. So,
what
I
you
know
got
more
for us, Kenneth?
yeah. So if you don't mind me stepping in real quick, if that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
So I just kind of want to quickly shout out the All Kids Deserve to Eat merch that's on sale. The store that we set up for that is actually closing tomorrow, Wednesday, which means that if you want a shirt, if you want a sticker, if you want a face mask, if you want anything that's in that store that is for All Kids Deserve to Eat 2020, your last chance to get it is actually today. So go jump in on that if you want it.
Well, all right.
Thank you for sharing that.
That is
definitely
it's
important
good to
news.
know if you want that merch. I know I ordered my shirt. I believe it was either Thursday or Friday. Obviously, I haven't received it yet because I didn't order it till Thursday or Friday. But yeah, if you want that merch, definitely get in there because that is limited time.
Yep,
As you know,
until
the year-
AKDTE 2021.
That's right. But you know, at AKDTE 2021, you're going to want to be rocking that AKDTE 2020 shirt just to really flex on people, to let you know, let them know that you are an OG of thinking all kids deserve to eat.
Absolutely.
Right, you are. All right, I'll let you guys get back to it.
All right,
Thank you,
Seth.
Sineth. All right, so picking up where we left off, right now we're in the Phoenix Cave. This is a great check for him as he is going to find another dragon here, as well as potentially getting another character. A Revivify, that is actually going to be very helpful for him. If he encounters another undead boss, that will go a long way for him. Seeing as we have no life magic or Phoenix Downs, that was a big find right there.
Doing a little bit of character setup. Oh, we have a Valiant Knife.
We're going right into it. Okay.
Surprised because he's almost at full health.
Oh, and he's throwing on the muscle belt right away. That's the play that he's going with.
All
Okay.
right, so muscle belt is what HP increasing item.
It increases your HP by half.
Ah, okay.
So he automatically is going into this fight at a deficit of 1800 HP. I would consider hitting myself with Cyan. Oh, he's going to. He's going to attack him.
It looks like he's got Shadow queued up for an attack.
I don't know that was the play. I might have thrown something at him instead, but that's fine. Nothing can hit our boy. Look at this guy go.
Look, hey, you know, when your evade gets high enough, when you start rocking some of those high tier shields, you know, things happen. Things miss.
Exactly. Oh, really sad damage.
Yeah, that's not great.
He lost a lot of his strength multipliers. Oh, and then Go-Go bailing him out. Wow.
Go-Go with the trips.
Go-Go throwing some huge damage here with the dice.
Double trips. That's yeah. Go-Go just balling out. He's just balling out hard.
I honestly think the better play is just keep Hyper Wrist over that. Aegis Shield is very good. That's a shield I would actually contemplate throwing Behemoth Suit or something like Genji Armor on.
Doesn't it have just a ridiculously high magic defense percentage?
Exactly.
Like just something ridiculous. I don't remember the number, but
as you level, the number will increase as well. And he's found Realm. Look at that. We have another character. That, I believe, is our 7th character. So we've met our first threshold. I lost track of my Esper count a little bit, but I believe we're around 6.
Though I would expect at this point, I guess magic users like a realm in the randomizer. I assume you have to base whether you want to use them heavily off of what espers you get and what spells they're packing.
Absolutely. This run's a little different. Oh, he's actually going to bench Cyan.
Who's he bringing out in place of Cyan?
I don't know. This is interesting. But he's made him naked. Oh, he's gonna go punch Cyan. That's literally all he's doing. He's got him naked. He's gonna go punch him.
Oh, he's literally just going for
Valiant knife shenanigans.
Valiant knife strats.
Oh boy.
So where is he gonna go to punch him?
I don't know. He's gonna go do Locke's check and he's just gonna punch him.
So this is Locke, not Celeste locked?
Correct. This is Locke's tunnel armor check. Celeste's portion of this, in South Figaro, where he was looting at the start of the run, where you would find Celeste in the room, that is her portion of this.
Okay.
So there will be a character Esper item hanging in the shackles there. But again, need Celeste for that to open up. Who was actually in the initial seed I rolled. And then someone was like, hey, I heard you like Go-Go. And I said Celeste. Sorry, I talk a little funny sometimes, but Celeste is what
Celeste,
I said, right?
You know, one of those things.
Pretty close. All right.
Or is it Celis? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce things. I don't pretend like I do.
We did really like that run. It was a lot of fun.
This, I believe, is our last. This should be our last Ultros, I believe.
He's gonna kill and revive him. Wow, interesting. I don't think he has anything to revive him with.
Yeah. Does he have a Phoenix down? Oh, he does
He
have a
has
Phoenix
some.
down.
I missed when he bought those. Okay.
Oh wow,
now,
so he's gonna be at like an 8,000 plus detriment on.
Here we go at 40k a turn, Cyan. I hope you're all ready.
Okay. Oh, that just helps him. Oh, look at 48 health, Cyan.
And Valiant Knife, where are you hiding? There it is. I'd get the shield and his offhand there. There you go. That's good. And here we go.
Yeah, Cyan is about to slap real hard, real
And a
quick.
Snow Muffler. Oh man, Snow Muffler Aegis Shield's gonna go a long way if he chooses to go with it. You want Force Shield instead?
Force Shield, Red Cap, Force Armor?
Okay. That
He's
is
still gonna
totally
slap.
fine. He's going to slap. I would actually heal him a little because he's going to lose damage here. Like some of it's going to get eaten by the damage cap with the level and everything else being factored into the formula right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would actually try to keep him around 1,000 HP. But
Because then he'd
You know
still
what?
be 7,000 short on everything.
he'd be 7,000 short, plus he's already doing around 2k. And yeah, Captain Slaps is here. I hope you're all ready to see just how busted we can make this game. Mithril Blade, listen, it's probably worth 20k. And this is an Esperorn item, as that was an NPC walking down the hallway.
Mithril Blade. It's at least not completely useless. You can sell it.
Yeah, random shops. I love random shops. They don't get used enough within the community, I think. They tend to... Oh, no.
Goddess.
Oh, what a fight to find! Why are you fighting? Oh,
Should
no.
Maybe...
I don't think Retro knows that it works that way. He put an offering on. It's
so he's still
faster than
slapping
queuing.
hard. It's just...
So,
He didn't
it
even
works.
care.
It works. It absolutely works. I mean, it's not 40k, but it's damn close.
You're just one turn goddess, you know. Not
Yep.
a whole lot of that going on.
And he got Phoenix. Phoenix is nice. So, yeah, look at that. Level 45, over 9,000 HP. This is crazy. Right?
Yeah.
He could potentially start building for another Valiant Knife user.
Looks like he's also at 9 Espers.
9 is a good number.
he's
So we
just
need some
one
dragons.
short. Yeah, one Esper and some dragons short. Which means he needs Edgar.
We will need to find Edgar. From my count, I believe we're at 3 dragons. We have Storm, Frost, and Phoenix Caves. Skull Dragon, which actually wasn't randomized now that I'm thinking about it.
What about the one in the Opera House in the World of Ruin?
Did he do that one? Did I miss that?
Yeah, he went on stage.
Okay. He went on stage. All right, well, there we go. So we have 4 dragons now.
Yeah. Is the mage's tower locked by anyone, or just the character check at the bottom?
Just the character check.
And he has realm, which I assume would be, or is that a Strago check?
It's a Strago check. But he can go there. That one is not sealed by any means. I believe you can just walk in and go loot it and do everything, so that shouldn't be a problem. That said, that's where those elemental shields and learning that early bit of magic is going to come into play, I think.
Yeah, because you can't attack there.
You cannot. Umaro is the only one that can attack there.
Yeah, and go in weird situations.
Even then, I believe he gets magic locked as well. Like, he doesn't even have the mimic up there, I don't think. Maybe?
I thought he still had mimic up there, but I could be wrong.
No, you could be right. I don't ever take go-go, so I could be wrong. We'll find out. Oh, we're going to do the dried meat check here, so this could be character, Esper, or item.
And so if it's a character, it'll be the character. If it's something random that shows up after the battle, that means it's Esper or item.
Correct. And because he took a random encounter earlier on with a magic urn, he now gets to kill them. Oh, they're going to run away on him. Even better. Throw that remedy. Can we catch that and keep it for later? That'd be great.
If only. Nope. And that's the only random encounter he's had, isn't it?
No, actually,
No.
because of the gauntlets he's been in, those count as random encounters as well. Typically, if you fought nothing, the Lobo will be here, and it's basically 100% spawn rate. It's like 90%.
Can Gao not show up if it's pincer attack? Because I saw he just ran from the pincer attack. Okay.
No back attacks, no pincers.
Well, there's the Lobo.
Cool. Hit him with that fight command.
Oh, his Cyan got fully healed. I was like, man, he's not doing much damage. Oh, it'll be something else. It is not a character.
Which is okay. At this point, he's actually met his character quota, and now he's... Actually, that is a fantastic Esper.
So
Fenrir...
710.
We're at the 710, so...
But he does still need Edgar.
He needs Edgar. And this is kind of what I was saying, is the 710 will probably turn into an 1111 very quickly. You're going to end up doing a lot of checks.
Okay, I see he's...
I think he's doing this to hurt Cyan. That's the only reason this makes sense to me. Yeah, he's going to kill Cyan and then probably run.
Okay.
There, it did it for him. Run away. Don't kill yourself. He doomed one of them. Perfect. Just get out of there.
Is there a reason he would do the Phoenix down in combat instead of run away and then do it in menu?
I'm going to say nerves.
Okay.
I know Retro is pretty nervous about this, and I was like...
I wasn't sure if there was a strategic reason you would do that, or if it's just, it doesn't really matter that much.
I was going to touch on it and just say do it out of combat, but he's actually in a perfect spot now. Like, that is exactly where you want to be, safety-wise. And again, like, everyone makes a little bit different decisions. Everyone plays a little bit differently. We all have ranges of knowledge. Like, I specialize in the more unique characters, which I think is why I was selected to do this. Like, Gao, Cyan, Umaro, like, I build around those guys a lot.
The guys that we're most likely for people to pay for because they're
because everyone thinks they're garbage or doesn't really understand. Like, they're like, oh, well, they can only do this thing, and they try them once or twice, and they never really give them a chance.
Admit, I never gave Umaro a chance.
Umaro actually has offering potential. Simply because there will come a point where his damage will scale so high that you could combo him with like a hero ring, and he'll actually do close to 40k a turn if you get his level high enough. And the reason offering only works in certain scenarios, for those of you wondering, like, hey, attacking 4 times just seems broken. Offering actually cuts your attack in half. for every attack you do. So it's technically just as valuable as using a Genji Glove per se, unless you can get yourself over the 20k cap. That's where the window of opportunity for an offering really.
And that's where the shenanigans
happens.
Truly occur.
Exactly, and that's where using it makes sense. Right there, you get to see some of the benefits of a Blizzard Orb. For whatever reason, he immediately went and healed after killing and reviving his Cyan.
That's odd.
Odd
maybe
for
nerves,
sure.
Or I didn't see him do it. Did it auto do it?
It wouldn't automatically do it. You'd have to go out of your way to heal.
Huh.
So we're in World of Ruin. I'm trying to think of where he would have done that. I don't know.
But while he's making his way through Hauser's house, let me speak a little bit to the charity that we're here benefiting. We are here. This is day 3 of the All Kids Deserve to Eat Marathon, benefiting children at Wilderwood Elementary School in Ralston, Nebraska. And really, the whole point of this is students get lunch debt from not having enough money to pay for their lunch at school. And we're not okay with that. We don't think that should be a thing. And we're doing our best to get rid of it. And the official message, All Kids Deserve to Eat, strives to improve and sustain the quality of life for students across America. Its specific objective is to make direct relief efforts to schools across America for the purpose of alleviating lunch debt accrued by students throughout their educational career. So like I said, this is an elementary school that we're helping out. This elementary school has over $13,000 in student lunch debt. Now, these students that have this debt will have it follow them throughout their academic career until it's paid off. That means they could be kept away from going on field trips. When they get to high school, they could be kept from going to prom. They could not be given their transcripts or be allowed to walk at graduation because of this debt. And I mean, these are elementary school students. These are kids that we're talking about. And we're not okay with that. And that's what All Kids Deserve to Eat is about. That no kid should have to deal with the amount of stress that would come with not having enough money to eat and then also getting punished for it later. We are not okay with that. So please, we have reached our initial goal of $13,000 with the $13,772.50 that we have. We are $7.50 actually below the magic number of that Wilderwood Elementary School actually has in debt. That was $13,780. So we've already smashed our goal, but we're this close. And if we hit 14,000, we will add some extra things. So there's going to be a day 4 now to finish the Celeste race between J-Chalk and Sidith. If we hit 14,000, we'll also add a Link to the Past crowd control randomizer to that. And if we hit 15k, we add an entire day 4 with all kinds of new runs, and it should be great stuff. And now I will shut up and let us talk about the game some more.
Absolutely, that's totally fine, man. I'm having a lot of fun, and again, I'm honored to be here. I appreciate you guys along.
And we are happy to have you.
Yeah, so let's get back to what's going on screen here. We have Retro now in the Owser's Mansion. He has just defeated the boss. I took a short reprieve while you were doing your input there, so I didn't actually see what it was. I went to the restroom real quick.
It was Odin.
It was Odin! Oh boy, Odin's good.
Now, I know what Esper's teach is randomized, but I assume if he decides to cast Odin, it'll still be Odin, right?
Absolutely. The animations are the same, and that's why earlier when he picked up this is a wild play. Here we go. We have an Atma weapon with a guy with a bajillion health and a high level, so he's about 10 levels away from where that is really going to get crazy. I don't believe it applies to sword techniques, though, so a little bit of an interesting play. Maybe he's just going to continue to run offering Atma. That could be a play as well.
The Atma weapon strat's kind of the opposite of the Valiant Knife strats.
A lot safer.
Yeah, because you get to stay at high health instead of having to hang out at low health.
Absolutely. But to
Gym
return
box, earrings, shadow. That's not a thing I've ever seen before.
He's been running the Magic Esper on him, so I think it kind of makes sense.
I have no doubt that you could turn Shadow into a great caster. That's just, in a vanilla playthrough, that's just not really a direction you're ever going to go with Shadow. Normally.
Nope, absolutely not. To be honest with you, like the mage hierarchy goes Realm, Terra, Celeste. Realm actually has the highest base magic stat of the three of the girls. So getting her early in a randomizer, especially if you can get a Magic plus Esper, she's going to carry your team.
Right.
Which is interesting, because who thinks a 6-year-old little girl who likes to paint is going to carry your... Wow, look at the find there. If he can get Strago, he's got Terra.
Wow. And that was actually a note I was going to ask about with Terra. Does she come automatically with Morph already?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have to like go unlock it or anything. She comes with Morph.
She comes with Morph. The other thing about Terra also comes with 5 checks, because she is one of the main characters. So she has the River check. She has Welk. So the very first boss of the game, you can just run up to where it spawns and then fight a boss, and you get something for it. Ramu, which is the top of the tower in Zozo and World of Balance.
Mm-hmm.
She has Funbaba, the Mobliz fight in World of Ruin, and also in World of Balance, the Esper Cave, where all the loot is.
Oh wow! So she really, that's a lot.
And the thing is, getting her early is really great as well. It actually will change your looting path a little bit, because you will head to probably do Madoin almost right away. And we call it Madoin because that's the icon they use, and that's who she meets in front of, the Esper Village or whatever.
Right.
So we call it the Madoin check. But in there, you have the Imperial Basement to loot, which has like 12 treasure chests in it, plus the looting of a couple other little things in the room. So there's a lot of loot there. Getting Terra early is so good, for the sheer number of possibilities and doors it opens up, and just the sheer amount of gear options it opens up.
Are there any other characters that unlock as many checks as Terra?
Yes. Cyan actually has 5 checks as well. So does Shadow, so does Celeste, so does Saban. So on the tracker, basically, I say if you get anyone on the left, you're in a really good spot, because they just open so many doors for you so quickly. The checks may be a little...
Oh, that's an Illumina.
Oh!
I know what that means.
I know what that does.
Even I know what that does.
Now we're gonna... Oh, front row him. Front row Bromaro. Come on. All right.
With an Illumina is about to slap hard.
Oh, boy, that is silly. So one of the craziest builds I've ever done in this... Just the Illumina just triggered the thought. We'll get back to whatever I was talking about. It'll come back eventually. I did double Illumina Genji Glove offering on a Stray Cat Gal that I pumped with Strength Espers for a whole round. I literally one-tapped Final Phase Kefka like vanilla.
I can imagine.
Just 80k to the face, because the cool thing... Thank you for playing FF6 playthrough for the kids. Sign me up. Oh, man.
Zero Lane donating $20. FF6 playthrough for the kids. Sign me up. Thank you so much for your donation, Zero Lane. And it's greatly for the kids.
It absolutely is. This is... Oh my gosh. So that was one of my builds. I was literally 80k a turn when he was popping Stray Cat. And even when he wasn't popping Stray Cat, because Stray Cat's multiplier is so high, he was still doing 4,000 damage with the regular hits as a Stray Cat offering Genji Glove.
That's insane.
With 2 Illuminats. It's really nutty, the stuff you can do. And that's kind of... Honestly, it was kind of what I was pushing for with this. I was like, maybe he'll get Gao, and then he'll find an Illumina, and... Oh.
Wait, was that Cyan?
Yeah, even though he has Cyan, because of how the game is coded, it's still going to show that he is Umaro for this playthrough. So if you were really curious as to who Umaro was, he could have just run up here and checked.
Ah, okay. So what is he checking? Kefka at Narsh?
Kefka at Narsh is where we're going right now.
Okay, can he do that? Like, I guess who unlocks that?
Kefka at Narsh is one of the free checks that is open to everyone.
Ah, okay.
Curious as to why he's doing it, since... Oh, he's looking for Edgar. I was like, I don't know why he's doing it, since he's
now he knows it's going to be an item. Or...
He's going to do it anyways. For the kids!
Doing it for the children's.
What I love about this, though, is we're actually going to be able to showcase a skip. I know that Retro does it. There's actually 2 spots you can stand here where you have to fight none of the encounters and run straight to Kefka.
I remember seeing that in the FF6 Kefka at Narsh tournament.
Yep. So those of you who have never seen this little, I guess we'll call it a skip for lack of a better term, sit tight and watch this. Grab yourself a drink. It'll take a second.
It does take them a minute to walk past. And Zero Lane, or Red, gifting a subscription to Zero Lane. Thank you, Red. Or I guess Jay should thank you. It's not my channel.
We're just the voice on the channel.
Yes. All right, and we
So
have
Rexdol. This is going to be a little bit rough. Actually, no, he'll be fine. I was thinking the Pearl Procs are going to do next to nothing here, but he's throwing weapons for butt tons of damage. And this is kind of what I thought was going to happen.
That Atma weapon not slapping as hard as I would have expected.
He's not at full health. That's the first thing. Anything less than full health, you actually lose damage, like a significant amount. And until you hit about level 64, 65...
Ooh,
the weapon
7K takedown.
Yeah. Shadow did some work there.
Alright, so you get 64, 65?
So you had 64, 65. The multipliers are not really in your favor with Atma. It might pick up a little bit later, but right now, probably better off going Valiant Knife and sticking to Sword Techs, but...
And there's Bismarck. And Jay, your math isn't quite right. It's 750.
We're almost there.
MP plus 50%.
That's great for Ultima and Flare runs.
Yeah, since we won't be seeing Ultima, and since he didn't get a magic user super early, I don't expect we're going to see him just kind of insert one in.
You know what? I've actually seen some wild plays where people run Realm in the final tower. Because, like, in the final tower, you're pretty much going to take everyone you can to fill out 3 parties.
Right.
As best you can. So if you only have 9 characters, you're going to run them all anyways. There's a lot of reasons for this. Some people choose not to do it, but then it ends up backfiring on them a lot. I know there's a few runners that I watch in our community, and sometimes they're like, I'm just going to take 6 people. And then their one guy that they take gets hit with, like, level 5 Doom off a Doom Gaze on a tower or something, and you're just like, well, that wasn't fun, was it? If nothing else, you bring the extra people, because if they don't level, they're at least there to take a hit for you.
And to bring your average level down.
And to bring your average level down. There's a lot of good reasons to take them. And if you can
I can't
manage,
imagine a level 5 realm is really adding much in the way of damage.
Well, here's the thing. They're also going to get scaled XP based on the rest of your higher level party members.
So if she survives one fight, she's going to get some ridiculous amount of experience.
So this is where I was going with the story. I saw someone take a level 3 realm into Kefka's tower and then use them on Kefka in the final fight.
Oh, wow.
Because they went from level 3 to level 42, and they had over 100 magic in Ultima. So they walked in and just slapped it with a realm that they leveled at the last minute. I do that a lot. If I find a late Cyan or a late Gao and they have what I want them to have, and I have a Strength Esper, I take them in the rightmost group because they're going to fight the most things. And I just feed them everything I can to help them survive the first couple fights, especially with an XP egg. And you can take them into the last fight at like level 40, level 50, and just absolutely mash.
I see his Cyan has hit max HP.
He has?
Yep, he's at max.
So, here we go.
The Serpent Trench. Is there an unlock at the end of this?
There is all 3 checks are at the end of this as a possibility. This is a terrible fight.
Pincer Veterans.
Veterans have Condemn. They also have Roulette.
Condemn, you get time. Roulette, you don't.
Yeah, Roulette is whoever the arrow lands on is dead.
Don't care who you are. None of that. You're just dead.
go. Come on. Get them roll. I'm really nervous right now. That's why I shut up. I was like, please.
That's all good.
Please survive.
Ooh, that Umaro slapping pretty hard.
That's what front row Umaro is going to look like right now. And this is why it's so important to get him back on the front line if he can.
And I'm guessing this is one of the gauntlets that Moogle Charm doesn't work on.
Correct. Staying right here is really important, even if you guys are going to play vanilla. There's 2 treasure checks you can find, and it's a little bit faster.
How vanilla?
How vanilla.
Sorry, I had to remark upon an actual vanilla fight.
Yep. This extremely vanilla fight. It's not randomized. I'm sorry, guys. I screwed up the seat a little bit. But here we go. We're entering the cave. There's going to be a box on the right. Let's see. He's going to go for it. And it's a troll box. Gotta love it.
Are those just randomized in?
Mm-hmm. Atlas Armlet. I like that play.
Okay, when he takes off the muscle belt, he's not quite at max HP, but he's probably like 1-2 more levels at HP plus 100% to...
Yeah, he's in that threshold now where HP starts to get really silly.
Yeah, I don't
even in the base game.
I don't know if mechanically, even with the Atma weapon, having 9,500 versus 99.99 matters.
Not really. It has more to do with, like, right now he's at max health. Look at the damage difference. He's also added a physical damage multiplier of 25%.
With the Atlas armlet.
Yeah. I still think, like...
Would he be better off with the Vigor, the Hyper Wrist, or the Atlas armor? Okay.
Well, it depends on what he's doing. With what he's building right now, probably running Atlas Armlet is fine. Personally...
He's going fight strats instead of sword skill strats.
Yeah. Like, he built his Cyan very differently than I would. I would have probably run the Strength Esper on him for most of the game, and then Hyper Wrist... Atlas Armlet late game, and then just Quadra Sliced.
And just slapped everybody.
Because it's consistent damage. You know what it's going to be. It's going to do 40k every time. Especially at the level he's at now. If he went that route, he's probably doing 40k a turn. Just purely based on level. But here we are seeing some different... And he's found Edgar. There it is. Wow. Okay.
That was what he needed for the last dragon.
That is excellent. And that's a gamble. He had a lot of doors that he could have gone down there. So finding Edgar there is wonderful. We are in the home stretch.
Ribbons dirt cheap.
Honestly, I don't use them. I usually sell them.
Really?
There's very few things. Oh, ice shields for 2k. There's a bunch of free damage.
And he buys 11 of them.
Yep. Like, imagine if you found this shop early on. Just throwing ice 3s for free. Oh. Yeah, I'd look at
Edgar, but yeah.
Edgar's not really going to see any play here.
He might get put into a party in Kafka's Tower just because you might as well, I'm guessing.
Pretty much. He's probably going to be there to get bodied, and that'll be about it.
That will be his purpose, to die.
Yeah. A little strange he hasn't found a Genji glove, which is funny. This is starting to remind me a lot of my first all checks run that I did.
Sorry, that was my phone.
That's a great ringtone.
Trying to call me from Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island.
Canadian, I take it?
No, not even remotely.
There it is. I was like, me too! Oh, never mind. Sorry. Oh, and now he's getting body blocked. The NPCs in this area are super trolly.
I don't know what Canadian's trying to call me, but stop it.
Yes.
Did he just finish out his cash on ice shields?
No, he didn't. I would have, but that's
I
fine.
saw him buy a couple more, but he only bought 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, he's only at 14, 15 now, I think.
I mean, I guess if he thinks that's enough to do what he's gonna want to do in Kafka's Tower.
Yeah, or maybe he's got a different plan for it that I'm not aware of. But so I would have just.
What dragon location does Edgar block?
Ancient Castle.
Really? So, because to move.
It's underground.
To move Figaro, okay.
Yeah, you have to move Figaro to get to it. So he's going to go do Edgar's 2 checks now. He might only do one of them. I don't know that he'll check Throne Room. He might. But, I mean, he has Fenrir, which is something I've been trying to talk about. I keep getting distracted by all the cool things that are happening.
That's right.
Fenrir...
Give us some Fenrir knowledge.
Fenrir is incredibly useful. Fenrir and Golem are like 2 of the best Espers you can find in this run in general, or in casual play. The 2 of those actually completely negate Calmness, which is the most lethal thing you're going to fight probably in this run. Tier 3 of Kefka, his counter when he dies is to use an ability called Calmness 1 to 2 times, and it just outright, you're dead. There is a chance to block it with high enough evade, but you need physical evade, and look at that, it's Celeste!
There's Celeste.
So, you know, it's a great thing to have if he weaves it in properly into the fight. Obviously, if you get hit by magic, it reduces it. But Fenrir simply applies the Faded effect to you, or Mirage effect, which makes it so you can't be hit by physical attacks.
And Calmness is considered physical?
Correct.
Gotcha.
This is Celeste.
So we're going to see Celeste. Will we see Celeste get used? Probably not, but we're going to see her.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, pronunciation is up for grabs at this day and age because, hey, it was all written. So however you read it as a 7-year-old kid when you played it the first time, it's up to you, man.
Celeste, does it really matter? Not really.
No. Until there's a voice-acted version of this game and they say it, it don't matter.
Oh, look, a fake mustache.
You go great with them dice. I'm just kidding. It's a
Just
gambling
saying,
man.
Hey, you know, if you want to start, what is it? Sketch turns into Control, I think is the name of it.
Yep.
Okay. I knew what it did. It was like a manipulate, but I wasn't sure. I thought it was named Control, but wasn't 100% on that.
Yeah, you can get into some... Sketch bugs are in this game.
Oh, sketch bugs have not been patched out?
There's a toggle, but they're available.
It's Welk!
It is what a tough boss! We found the hardest boss in the game.
Pro tip for anyone who's deciding to start out FF6, don't attack the shell on Welk.
Neat thing here,
level 60 something.
yeah. Neat thing here, almost all of his attacks can't target, so they're all just like free reign. He has 2 offerings and a Numaro, which means just hit whatever you can hit. Keeping Shadow as his focus fire with magic is actually starting to look like a good play, especially with Fire 3. That's going to help him target down things on the Kefka tiers. Still a little baffled by the Cyan plays, but you know what? Do you, man. You go, Glen Coco.
Hey, you know what? Cyan's still slapping, so...
Cyan's still slapping. And it looks like he's alternating his plan. He's like, you know what? Let's just get some strength going.
What is he going for? Or is he just checking his equipment?
I think he's just looking at his options. I wouldn't say we're way ahead of schedule. There's still a lot to do.
Oh, no. As far as the schedule itself is concerned, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, apologies.
No, it's just because we had to end Celeste about an hour and a half early due to some internet issues. We are ahead. Beeps is promising to put us behind schedule, though, so...
The run itself is about on pace. This will probably be somewhere around 2.5, 2:45. Kefka's Tower alone takes around 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how much looting you choose to do and how good or bad the fights go.
Right. Now, after he does Ancient Castle, would you expect him to go head straight for Kefka's Tower?
Yeah. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. Maybe he will do a final loot check somewhere just to see if he can make himself a little sillier for no reason. But we'll see. An EP. Oh man, what a funny thing to find.
Lick Arcade asking in the chat if all donations go to charity. Yes. Every penny that is donated will go to Wilderwood Elementary School to eliminate the lunch debt that their students have accrued. Sorry, just wanted to answer the question.
No, you're totally fine.
Since we're doing this for the children, won't someone please think of the children?
Hey, Destiny, how's it going? It's great seeing a bunch of people from my community popping out, and I appreciate you guys being here, supporting this cause. If any of you guys want to give to the cause, it is a great one. We're raising money, again, to destroy lunch debt for these children that have no reason to have it. And he decides to bypass the dragon, go straight to the check. What are we going to get? Another Magicite. Now, I've seen Carbuncle with plus strength on it in the past. And this one has Pearl.
Pearl.
Pearl's all right. A
Holy damage.
And it's not going to help him against this boss.
Hey, the White Dragon doing Pearl.
Oh, man. And he's gone back to traditional Cyan here, it looks like. This is going super well. Retro's run has been really good. He's doing a great job. Just look at that. Don't even need Cyan right now.
I have learned a ton about the Final Fantasy VI randomizer. I may give it a shot because I do love randomizers, and I've played the Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 4 randomizers, and I really enjoyed them. So I will definitely look into probably trying to play this one.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you'd like, man, just get in touch with me after this, and I'll
Absolutely.
I'll set you up with some stuff.
And Link Arcade donating $10. Let's go Retrophile for the kids. Thank you so much for Link Arcade for that donation. That will go straight to Wilderwood Elementary School.
Anyone interested in the randomizer? Sorry, I didn't tell you were finished. Anyone interested in the randomizer? If I'm allowed to drop links in the chat after the fact, I will provide you guys a link to the randomized website. I'll also pull Discord links for those of you that would like to get involved in the community for the Worlds Collide Discord. Just again, mention it at the end of the run, and I'll ask Jay if I'm allowed for permissions to do so. Otherwise, you guys can find me in Jay's Discord, and you can just send me a private message, and I'll happily try to get you involved in the community. Again, R Furious is my Discord name. So.
All right, and Invarial, I'm totally down to sign up to calm everything blind. I don't need to know about things ahead of time. I could just talk about stuff. I'm down. And we appear to have been joined.
Yeah, Sineth is with us again. What's going on, Sineth?
You know, I'm just hiding in here while you guys are talking about the run. I know you guys got a little bit left on it. I'm just going to be helping read donations from here on for a little bit. Cheese, I'll DM you all the good stuff, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Do you have me to read right now? Or are you saying that?
I think he's just hanging out. It's cool.
Okay. I was like, I don't want to interrupt him if he's about to start talking.
What Jay pointing out in the chat, we have broken the $13,800 barrier.
Well done, chat. Well done, everyone.
That puts us less than $200 from unlocking Link to the Past crowd control tomorrow after the finish of the Celeste race.
Ooh, a Bolt 3 Esper. Ooh. Very nice find.
Yeah, so he'll have a few more options other than just that Fire 3 on Shadow.
I believe he has Ice 3 as well, so that'll actually finish out his
complete trifecta.
Yep. Fire 3 and Ice 3 are probably all he's really going to be using for the final tiers of Kefka. Obviously, a lot of the bosses coming up, no idea what he's going to run into. He's going full shenanigans. Leave it on there. No! Oh, he was going to go full shenanigans tomorrow. Swaps it out for the offering. He needs to front row him, though. He's giving up way too much damage with that.
Especially with as high as Umaro's defense is right now.
Yeah, he's just nerfed Umaro's damage by 75%.
Alright, so definitely with him taking off those XP eggs, I expect we're going to see him go straight for the tower.
Yeah.
Yep, there he goes.
And it's go time. We have 2 Dargans left, along with some more fun encounters along the way. I'm just having a quick look through my tracker, see where we're at. 0, I got that. I will definitely check that as soon as we're done here.
Looks like he is kind of separating them out. Now, I don't know. For the purposes of the incentive, Gogo and Umaru are no longer in the same party. So, I don't know how everybody that donated for those feels about that, but nah, it's fine. I'm just.
They'll be in the final squad for the final push. So
that's the important part.
Exactly. Here we're gonna see he's already got a Moogle Charm unlocked, so he's good there. As you can see, he doesn't care about Locke and Celeste. He's given them no armor and kept them in the front row to die.
Question from our next runner: about how long are we looking at before the end of the run?
At this point, we're about 25 minutes out.
All right, there you go.
Give or take 5 minutes. Obviously, if he dies, add a little time. But we're on pace for about a 220, which is really good for all the stuff that he had to do here.
All right, I'm guessing he's gonna give like Edgar a Moogle Charm or something.
Yeah, I'll probably give it to Edgar. Ribbon offering, not bad. Marvel Shoes is probably a great play with your fixed dice user. For anyone else who's watching, Marvel Shoes basically makes you invulnerable with Force Armor. For those of you who don't know what it does, Marvel Shoes gives you auto haste, auto regen, and it gives you shell and safe, which makes basically, oh my, all forces of damage do half. I don't know why he took this fight, as it's not a dragon. Maybe he was hoping to level Gao.
Weaponry fight, right?
Yeah, this is the Atma weapon fight, so this isn't a necessary one, but
it
didn't matter. It's just,
Ooh, but Doom slapping back.
Yeah, he got back road for 1100. Like, whoa!
Yeah, Gogo was slapping, but Doom is slapping back. Not great rolls on that second offering. Go.
Nah, but
finishes him off anyway.
That's kind of the live and die by it. I've had rolls in this tower where like I can't do 1,000 damage for an offering Genji Glove double fixed dice, and you just like, why? Why do you do this? And a Ragnarok, that is some fat loot right there. Oh yeah. My goodness. I believe he took that fight. I think he's trying to actually do some Gao stuff, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it turns out when Doom shows up, bad things happen.
I mean, Doom isn't... I mean, if you wanted to
a level 5 character.
The thing is, even at a level 5 character, if you equipped him properly, he would have been fine, but maybe he's not pushing for that then. Because if he wanted Gao to live, he probably would have given him equipment.
You're just hoping for those stray cat strats.
Yeah, I really am. It's like, can you do it? Even still, like... one Illumina on Gao with an offering is going to do a lot. Where are the incentives? They are right here. I got you.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. If you click that link... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh.
So yeah, exclamation point incentives, guys. We are looking to raise, looks like $198 left to add Link to the Past crowd control, which does have incentives on it. They are really good incentives, if you ask me. So just to let you guys know, one of the incentives is a bid war to pick the style of seed I will be running on Link to the Past. It's either going to be Ambrosia, which most people know you have to do all 7 dungeons. The uncle gives you a hint as to where the boots are. You have to you get a sword right off the bat. So it's actually kind of, and you also have to do escape. So you actually have to go rescue Zelda before you can even start the seed. So there's all that, and then the other version of that is called Inverted, which starts you off in the Dark World with nothing, and you actually have a lot less that you can check in the Dark World that you can in the Light World. So it actually is a lot harder to do the inverted seeds normally. It can kind of depend on how the seed rolls out, but yeah, those are the two. And so one of the donation incentives is to add what's called Chaos Enemizer to both of those seeds, which means that all enemies are shuffled, all bosses are shuffled. I can see the same boss 9 times if I get unlucky enough.
Yeah, it's not fun. I've had seeds of this game where you fight Goddess 4 times. That's not fun.
Okay, so now thus far we haven't seen you double fight a boss. Is that just a setting where you can set it to where you can fight a boss more than once, or have you just lucked as Retro just lucked out?
I think Retro's just lucked out. I had the bosses on random, and here he's showing actually a bonus loot chest you can find that a lot of people didn't know exists. And the vanilla game, this is actually the Aegis Shield.
Oh.
So, neat fact for you guys.
Very curly and mo.
Yeah. And there we are. In terms of... goodness, my train of thought today is just evading me.
No worries, man.
This boss. Yeah, this boss might be a little different than what you're expecting. Oh, your question about shuffling. I have it on random, which means you can actually fight the same boss over and over again. When they're on shuffle, which is another option that we have, it keeps all of the bosses, and it just shuffles them. So you'll only fight them once, but you'll fight them in different places. This one's been kind of interesting. It's playing like a shuffle so far. But we also didn't see... What's that, sorry?
You have it on random, even though it's playing more like a shuffle?
Yeah. That was a really unlucky Fire 3 on the one that absorbs fire. Ooh.
Harsh.
Yeah. So on this fight, you want to kill Larry at the top, or Curly. I think it's Curly at the top. If you don't kill the top stooge, it'll just continue to revive its brothers over and over again, which then continually opens the door to being hit by Delta hit.
Same problem with the Mega Sisters, basically.
Yeah, it is the OG Mega Sisters. It is, hey, we like the Three Stooges, we want to put them in our video game, and that's how this happened. FF4 does have Mega Sisters. Does it? I haven't played 4 in so long. Correct me on that. Cheese, you've played it.
I've played FF4 Randomizer. FF4 itself, it's been a little...
They're a boss, though, right?
I think so.
But you don't have access to them yourself. I mean, they're a boss in this game, too, I guess, so there it is.
You know what? I would trust unknown availability on that.
I would as well.
Tower of Zot.
Yeah.
You know what? I will trust his knowledge base on that.
As he said it, and I sat here thinking about it, I was like, yeah, hang on. Mega Sisters are in 4. I haven't played any version of 4 in probably close to 15 years.
This is the last dragon, the dirt dragon that he's taking on right now.
Mm-hmm. We have the 3 statues and Guardian left, and then it is the final 4-tier fight against Kefka.
And he's already fought a couple of the statues.
Yep, he's already fought a couple.
And just random locations.
And he's going to meme and throw the Excalibur. I hope you're ready, chat.
Oh yeah, he memed it hard. Like, really? Like, in the normal game, you don't throw the Excalibur. Absolutely not. Never wasted Excalibur like that.
And it's really funny. One of our fellow runners does this in the race when it gets restreamed to a bunch of viewers because people always get mad at him for doing it. It's like...
Well, because, you know, how are you going to throw the Excalibur, man? How are you going to do that?
Yeah. He did not suplex the train simply because he didn't have Sabin at the time when he fought the train.
Otherwise, I have no doubt that he would have.
Although you run into instances where you fight the train so early, you don't have the levels to have suplex. So sometimes you literally just can't. And it's really unfortunate when that happens.
Because everybody wants to see Sabin suplex a train. I mean,
yeah. I do it every time.
Why wouldn't you want to see that?
I don't know. It's way too cool. Fun fact, the Doom Train is the only boss creature in the game you can suplex. Every other boss is flagged with what's known as the heavy flag, so they can't be lifted. You also can't suplex flying monsters, for those of you who didn't know that.
I think I knew that because I had tried before.
Yeah. So if you guys want to hop into this game and suplex some stuff, make sure it's on the ground and make sure it's not a boss.
Except for Doom Train.
Except for Doom Train. Always suplex Doom Train.
Right. That should be its own category. Yeah, there's Kefka and Narsh. No, suplex Doom Train %.
Yeah. 100. I would play that category in a heartbeat. Suplexing is a proud tradition.
I mean, I have to expect you'd basically be just running the same strats you ran for Kefka and Narsh, just it would just end earlier. But still,
it might actually alter it a little because you do Sabin last, so I don't know how that affects the equipment accumulation.
Oh, that's true. I guess you would probably want to do Sabin first because all you needed to do is suplex that train.
Yep. So right here, he's choosing not to target the elemental weakness from the looks of it. If you use lightning magic on any mech in this game, it does double damage. But it looks like he's just sticking to fire. I guess it's doing enough damage for him. He's happy.
And I'd say the lightning damage on robots, that's pretty standard through most Final Fantasies.
Absolutely. If you fight something with metal, just throw lightning at it until it
drop a lightning on it and see what happens. Now there's the occasional boss that turns that around on you, but most of the time, if it's a robot, drop a bolt on it.
So here it looks like he's doing some gear checks for this team before he goes into the statue.
Dullahan.
Not a bad encounter, honestly. Should do fine here. Fire magic.
I believe absorbs holy?
It absorbs ice. I can actually pull the...
All I can ever remember is this is usually the first boss I would fight in the vanilla game after I got the debilitator for Edgar, and I would always make it like weak to everything.
Yep.
Just because.
Absolutely. Debilitator's a really good tool. Right, I'm just pulling a note real quick here.
All good, all good. That is it for Dullahan. Couldn't handle that fire attack.
Unfortunately, as
couldn't
much
handle
as
that magical shadow.
He could not.
That's a thing.
With the number of bosses, I haven't, memorized every single one's strengths and weaknesses just yet. I know most of the ones that I see all the time, but Dullahan is weak to fire, absorbs ice. You can also kill it by reducing its MP to 0.
Isn't that a thing you could do with a couple of bosses in this game?
There's quite a few. You can do it with Dullahan, Doomgaze, Flame Eater, Naughty, Narapa, number 24. Curly and Mo can also die from 0 MP, so if you fight them early on with ribbons, you can just wall ring and let them kill themselves.
What about, I forget the name of the boss, but at the top of the Mage's Tower.
Magimaster?
I know I've done that in the vanilla game. Just rasped and osmosed him to death. Because then he can't death counter you with ultimate.
Exactly. Actually, that's another setting we have in this game. Any of those major, just absolutely kill your team moves, with the exception of Kefka, we can disable them. So we've turned off Ultima on Magimaster, so he doesn't just counter and wreck your team if you fight him early on.
I have to ask, why does Cyan have a spear?
I have no idea.
Okay, just... I didn't see him change to the spear, but I just saw him swing the spear a bunch of times, and I was exceedingly...
I think right now he's experimenting to see what's going to do the most damage, and I think he's going to be... Wow. This Cyan build is doing no justice for Cyan. People are like, what's happening? And I'm like, yeah, I can't tell you. he needs Hyper Wrist, Atlas Armlet, and a bunch of strength gear on right now, and he should have had him strength espered from the beginning, but he didn't. If he did, like if Cyan even had 30 more strength, he's probably hitting damage cap.
Oh, so when you fight Behemoth, you actually have to fight both of them.
Yeah, but part 2, you just throw that at him and off he goes.
Oh yeah, no, I knew that, but I wasn't sure if it kind of separated it into 2 separate boss fights.
Nope. I mean, you can just get dead Behemoth. I've had it a couple of times where I'm like, wait a minute, this seems weird. He looks discolored. And I'm slightly colorblind.
Let me throw a phoenix down at him and see what happens.
Kind of, right? Well, I mean, it also depends on how important and valuable those are. So, like, right now, I'd put Illumina on Cyan. There you go. I'd Aegis Shield him and Behemoth Suit if this was me playing. Red Cap's great play. Behemoth Suit or Red Jet. Behemoth Suit's probably better.
You're going for the Behemoth Suit with the Force Shield and the Red Cap?
Let's see, he's got Hyper Wrist already, so that's going to help a lot. Atlas.
If he's going to take off the offering, I expect...
Hero Ring and Atlas essentially cover the same niche, so that's totally fine.
Hero Ring is just an Atlas Armlet plus an earring, right?
Yeah. It's a combination of Atlas Armlet and earring together.
Yeah.
Neat fact, so essentially what those items do, we never really talked about them. Earlier when you bought the earring, I was like, look at that, that's awesome, and I didn't even say why. Earrings increase all magic damage by 25%, obviously up to the damage cap. You can't go over that threshold. Atlas Armlet does the exact same thing for physical damage.
Is it all physical damage or just the fight command?
It's actually all physical damage.
Okay. See, in the description of it, it says fight. That's why I've never been super certain about that, so I generally I would tend more towards Hyper Wrists in my runs than Atlas Armlets.
Honestly, put them both on. Like, if you're using a Brawler and you're not going to run, like, Genji Glove, just wear them both. The only situation where I'd maybe back away from that would, again, be like a Cat Scratch Gal, because you're going to hit damage cap really quickly.
So you go for the offering.
I'd go for an offering, and I'd probably still run, like, a Hero Ring or an Atlas Armlet over a Hyper Wrist. Especially if you've gained like 20 or 30 levels with the Strength Esper, you're kind of hitting, you're going to start bumping into a wall with Gao really quickly.
Oh my! Fate with a $381 donation.
Save the animals.
Time to balance the scales. Save the animals. And yes, he means save the animals. Fate, thank you so much for $381.
Absolutely bananas.
For
you
the
can
children.
Have the
And, oh, please, Zenith. I
Not
think you're about to say the
only-
same thing I'm about to say.
Holy moly, Fate. Like, I knew you were looking to try and, like, make this a little less lopsided for save kill, because, you know, we gotta make it a competition, right? But I didn't think you were gonna even them out. That's crazy, dude. Thank you so much for that donation.
So with that, are
14
they now dead even?
They are now dead. Well, actually, let me do the math, but I think that's correct. Let me check. Hold on.
We're also over 14,000, so
Yeah, that's over 14,000.
Link to
So
the past unlocked.
Link to the Past unlocked.
Link to the past.
give me the
Crowd
amount.
control.
Give me the amount one more time.
It was 381, I believe. Fate, you can feel free to correct me. Fate's saying if that didn't even them out, he needs to fix it.
381.
If it's all right, we're actually in the final boss.
Yeah.
Sure, Zenith.
That is actually correct.
All right. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Fate. But we are in the final boss, so let's talk about the final boss.
So here, there's a lot of different ways you can go about this fight. Obviously, there's 4 tiers to Kefka's final encounter, which is what makes it so epic. And if you guys are watching at home, turn your volume up to 11 and just enjoy the soundtrack.
The music for this fight is amazing. Doesn't cut it.
No, it's totally fantastic, and I could elaborate on it all day. But we're going to talk about boss mechanics, and then we'll sit here and drool over how fantastic the music is.
My one question before you talk about boss mechanics.
Yes.
Is anything randomized about this fight, or is
No.
this fight just, this is vanilla?
This is vanilla, the scaling, the encounter as a whole. And the good thing is Retro's doing everything wrong in Phase 1, so I can tell you why. In Phase 1, there is actually a kill order. You want to kill head, long arm, which would be the one that's closest to you, and then short arm, which would be the one that's furthest from you. If you kill them in that order, you will not get countered by any mechanic. But as you can see there, he killed long arm first, then he killed the short arm, and then he killed the head, and that's why he got quaked and all kinds of other nonsense happened. In this fight, there are, I believe, 5 targets. As you can see here, he's going to initialize with the cleave. This is a great play, as the mob in the middle is vulnerable to doom or death. With him having
one of the 5,
it's the only one of the 5 you can insta-kill. Also, having Ice Magic here is going to be a big play if he chooses to target weakness. The second priority target will be the Tiger Head, and you will want to hit it with Ice 3, which I guess he never found that Esper, or he didn't put it on Shadow.
I thought he did find one that had Ice 3 on it.
I found it in my test run, and I'm pretty sure that he has it. He just must not have learned it.
He may not have put it on.
Yeah.
Let me give a quick shout out to Chris1508 with rating with a party of 10. Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription. Sorry, go ahead, back to the fight.
Totally fine. So, again, priority damage is very important in this final stage. Having Shadow with the ability to do that is going to be great, especially for the next tier. Being able to throw items at the head is going to be very, very important. He's going to get hit here by a Flare Star. That's going to hurt quite a bit, I believe. He's got some good mitigation in place. It wasn't as bad as I thought.
And Umaro even absorbed it.
Umaro's Rage Ring has some hidden abilities in it, as it actually negates 3 elements and absorbs some of them. And it isn't actually written in the game code. Yeah, so if you Rage Ring Snow Muffler, which is what he comes with, basically 4 elements don't do anything to Umaro.
Oh, wow.
Another hidden reason why he's so good that no one realizes.
See, I've never used Umaro for more than he's a berserker. That's neat, but I want to be able to control my guys. Like, that's the only, I do it that one time to find out what he does. I'm like, I'm never using this guy again.
Umaro is extremely powerful. Like, extremely powerful to the point of, like, in a vanilla game, I would consider putting him in my party, and that's not because I like to play all the niche characters. Like, he genuinely has a place. He is a tank that will not die. And
that's with phase 2 down.
That's phase 2 down. We're going to phase 3, which is the phase I was discussing. There are 2 targets here. There will be kind of Kefka getting his spine jammed by the end of the statue, and then a little statue figurehead behind him. You want to kill the head first. The head will continually heal the 2 of them with Whirlwind over and over again until it's gone. And it also will help you not have to deal with the counters as often. Shadow taking a metric hecton of damage there.
Yeah, Wild Wind is rough.
Get that Sky Render on the head. But Mega Elixir for a counter. Good play.
That's true. He bought 2 or 3 of those very early in the seed, actually. Like,
that Storm is just going to heal that lady in the back, though. Oh, she's dead. Excellent. I don't have my game audio on, so I didn't hear the death animation.
Yeah, I can't commentate with game audio on either.
Yeah. So that's excellent right there.
Well, there's calmness.
So
there's Cyan down.
Honestly, the way that he's built everything, he's fine. He's still got his main damage sources up front, so he's
number 5? I don't even know.
I wasn't actually looking. I was listening to the the donation. Kind of looking over here.
Yeah.
We're about to find out, though. He may not have.
He may have only dropped the lock.
He has a warm body in the front row to throw a Mega Elixir. That is it. We need some fat dice rolls because this last section is really just the blitz. There's two ways you can go about it. You can kind of tiptoe and get him over the 20k and wait for the head to cackle. Then he'll use the Fallen One ability, which drops everyone to 1 HP, Mega Elixir, and then push. Or you can just go ham. And it looks like he's choosing the go ham option and hoping that he pulls this off.
Well, we all love going ham. We in the speedrunning community love ham.
Blame Jay. How can this phase be a blitz? We don't have Saban. Good point.
Oh, there's what, Goner?
Nope, that's just letting you know that Goner's coming.
Ah, okay.
But he crack boomed it before it happened. That is time.
That's crack boom time. 2 hours, 18 minutes, 28 seconds.
That is a really good run time for what this seed was set up to be.
Demolishing his estimate of 245.
Yeah.
Good game, Retro.
Awesome. Yeah, that was great. That was a ton of fun to watch. And just sitting here asking what you might think are silly questions, but I'm like, I don't know any of this stuff about the randomizer.
Yeah.
I learned a ton in the past 2 hours.
You know, I hope I answered enough of the questions. I know some of them I was like sputtering on because I'm still new to the randomizer and I'm kind of refreshing my memory of what this game is over the last month. But it was an absolute pleasure to be here and to be a part of this. If you guys haven't donated to the cause and you're able to, please do so. It was an honor to be here. Jay, thank you for having me on your channel. And
I'm sure Jay would love to extend his thanks to you and to Retro for being here. Arf and Retro, thank you so much. Obviously he can't say that right now because he's away, having to do some personal things. But I'm sure his heartfelt thanks would go out to you if it could at this very moment.
Yeah, not a problem. And like I said, thank you all so much for having us. If you'd like, I'll dip out and give you guys the floor here. Anyone interested in the randomizer or being a part of our community, like I said, just message me. I'm in Jay's Discord if you want to join that.
Go ahead and hit me with that DM.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. I will get in touch with you, and we'll set you guys up with some information. Anyone with questions about it, my DMs are open. Hit me up.
I'd actually like to, before you leave, shout out actually my good friend who makes this randomizer. You might know him as Vamp. So I want to give a huge shout out to Vamp and their entire community. Everyone that's in part of this Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide randomizer. He's tried getting me into it a couple of times, and I've played it. I just don't know the game well enough to run it. So it's one of those things where I'm in your situation where I would literally have to play the game vanilla to learn what the location names are, where the locations are, what's important about these locations, and then get into the randomizer and start learning the randomizer from scratch.
I can actually speak to that as a person who came back to the game after 15 years.
Oh, I wouldn't be coming back to the game. I wouldn't be coming back to the game. I've never played Final Fantasy VI.
Even never, the reason I say coming back is my knowledge of the game had depleted over that time. All I had was my affinity for characters. We have a absolute metric hecton of guides and tools and resources to help new players adapt and adjust to the situations at hand. We have some stuff that is world map that has photos of locations and where to go to find all of your checks, and it'll have character portraits to tell you which character it's tied to. I'm actually
joined real quickly by Retrophile, our runner. GG Retro.
Hey Retro.
Hey guys, that was a wild run. Thank you so much, Arfurious, for that wonderful seed with a lot of options. I tried to have a bunch of builds happen.
It looked like he almost had too many builds going with Cyan there. I was like, I don't know what he's doing here, but he's going to try it. And it was like, But other than that, it was wonderful.
Arfie was a little disappointed that you didn't go stray cat gal. Just throwing that out.
I never found a Genji glove, even when I was looking around for stuff. That anyway, I could have done that, but like I was so invested on those 4 characters just out of the gate at that point. And that's usually how I run seeds. Basically, whatever 4 characters I usually end up with in the beginning, I'm just gonna just use till the end for the most part.
And again,
I
I
have to
did.
say
I touched on
the magic heavy shadow, not something I've ever seen.
Where I tried to pepper in him throwing stuff too. It's I think I heard the term that it's angry inventory management.
But yeah,
Okay.
fantastic run, Retro. Thank you so much for that entertaining show. It was a great thing to watch. I don't know if you caught it, but Jay had to step out. So I'm kind of taking over for the MC for the moment. So again, thank you so much on Jay's behalf. I'm sure he truly appreciates you taking your time, especially coming in kind of last minute to this marathon and telling us what it's all about, showing us what it's all about, and getting us to $14,000. I mean, dude, such a good job.
Oh, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. That was a joy to run. No major dead ends, no deaths. The only thing I tried to do was just YOLO the auction house to see what would come. I did a lot of stuff for the memes, like checking the chainsaw chest, showing the hidden chest in Kefka's Tower that people don't know about for the most part, trying different builds with Cyan. And the reason why I was swapping things so much between like Valiant Knife, Atma Weapon, and just Slappy Cyan with Quadra Slam or Quadra Slice or whatever is I wasn't happy with some of the damage numbers I was seeing. Like, while he never had a strength Isper, it was very, very strange. But I had a lot of fun with that, and I hope you guys did too. Some crazy moments too with the dog taking down Rexel. I was flipping out.
That was an amazing moment.
It was honestly a spectacular run, dude. Great job.
I learned a ton, and probably some of the crazy stuff you did helped me ask weird questions to make us learn more. Well, thank you, Zero Maverick, for the raid. That is awesome. Thank you very much. But we do need to go to intermission. Next up will be Blue Plasma Spark with Super Metroid Low Percent X Ice. It's an interesting category, and Beeps will be doing the commentary for it, and he's going to show you some tricks because X Ice requires a few tricks.